So where did I go off to again? So did I disappear again? This is going to be a disaster today, and I apologize for that. So, geez, am I still there? Right, I think I'm there. I'm back again. I should be back. Clicking things. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's happening? Let's see here. So, it's Safe Driver Week the other week. Did I disappear again? Let's see. I can't see anything. I don't know what the story is today, so hopefully I'm still here. I still see people commenting. I show viewers, so hopefully I'm there. Waiting. Hey, all right. So, did I disappear off the screen or something for some reason? I don't know what happened. Was I on before? Did I even say anything? There were people talking, but I wasn't, I didn't say anything. All right, so let's see what's happening. First time to see you. Okay, so sorry. Okay, we're here, there. Okay, so people were commenting. I was commenting back to the comments, and people, that's hilarious. Okay, I was seeing myself up there, and I was commenting to the comments, so sorry about that. YouTube changed this whole thing the other day, and it messed me up, and the live show didn't show up there and stuff, so sorry. You've been talking to myself for 10 minutes. Okay, good. I was doing a good show. That's what I've always thought, is that I'm the only one on it, so that's pretty good. I was not on. That's awesome. I was actually commenting back to the comments, and people were following along. No wonder people weren't really answering the comments. That's great. That's a good show. Mark, you're putting on a good show for yourself. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so YouTube changed how the live show goes. They changed the whole back end of it and stuff, and apparently I didn't click the right button, and the show didn't go. So I did want to do this, right? The FMCSA wants 18 to 20-year-olds on the interstate. What do you think about that? Road check is coming up. UPS is going to install lytics cameras in their box vans, and the union has something to say about it. USA Truck self-dispatching. And 4 things you have to have with an ELD. Do you have them for road check, which is up this week? And don't forget, it's Roller Wiener Monday. Finally, I get on, right? There it is. Get it? Look at that. Now, is that great? Why can't we get that kind of gigantic wiener to stick in our mouth here? This is from Iceland. Unbelievable. Icelandic roller wiener. The whole world loves wieners. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry about that. I mean, I'm just apologizing. I don't even know what to say. I don't know why I wasn't on. So anyhow, Trucker Hershey was first. I'll just redo the whole 10 minutes that I was talking to myself. That's pretty funny. Oh my gosh, just hilarious. Thank you everybody for staying here. And otherwise it would just be me. So I do appreciate that. Cassius King Trucking was here today. Oh my gosh, Michael Muller's here. What a mess. Christina Jones is here. I thought everybody was talking to me. That's crazy. That's craziness. Stephen Taylor, what's going on? The Joker must be a sale. Okay, that's when I was like, what is going on? Technical difficulties, right. Stephen Taylor's at home in sunny southern Milwaukee. No snow there. Not yet. The Midwest, meaning Colorado, because people call that West or whatever, is going to have some snow this week, they said. Possibly 8 inches of snow this week. That's really something. I think that's really something, 8 inches of snow in 1 week. Considering how early we are, they said it'll be some of the earliest snow that they've ever had there. Mark, Wild Bill, and Jail Jobs get distracted cleaning their 3-bunk truck. We wanted to sanitize it since it was Labor Day, and of course at England we're probably not getting paid for it. That's another question. Who's getting paid? Are you getting paid today? Not paid? Are you off? Not off. Let's see. I'm off today with pay. So let's see here. We are here and there. Finally, I'm finally here. Night Ranger's here, right? Love it. Oh, they could see me. I don't know, but they probably appreciate the other way better. All right, I've been talking to myself. Let's see. Look what Gracie brought in. Oh, she didn't even come out today. Happy Labor Day. I'm like the Jimmy Buffett song. I got my Hush Puppies on. George Wilson. Yeah, I wonder if those places are open today. Maybe the roller wiener monster got you. That would have been, I don't know if that'd be a bad death or not. That wouldn't be too bad. Hello from a hot today, snowy tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I was thinking Wednesday because we're going to get in the 50s later this week. Crazy. None of your comments showed up either. That's great. That's awesome. Red Wine 5. Hello, sir. Got hooked up on a dedicated account in my company. First dedicated I've done in 20 years. Now, what does dedicated mean, Red Wine, to you? at your place? Is it everything east of I-35, or you go to these two places, or you do the same thing every week, that kind of thing? That's what I consider dedicated, where you're doing the same thing every day or every week. I think you covered up in the driver-facing camera. I had the visor down. Yes. I didn't follow community guidelines. I always do worry about that. I always am concerned about that. I go and check and make sure there's no strikes or anything. So that's why in the description sometimes you'll see an attribution. Well, I got this picture from here or whatever. You just never know. Like there's one today for the hot dog picture. So let's see, where did I go off to? And I lost. Oh, good. That's good. Even though it's new, I'm still losing my spot. So that's great. YouTube change probably makes it easier to block conservative viewpoints. No, they just updated the way the live show goes. And there's a bunch of stuff apparently you have to do, but I didn't know about it. And I didn't put the stream key in. It's a blah. Nobody wants to hear about my problems about that. But so they updated the whole way that the show goes live, that you do live shows on a computer every week, or whenever you go live, and I didn't do the right click things, apparently. Christina, we love you anyway. Thank you. And thank you, you and everybody for staying, or it would just be me for the day. Columbia, George, I'm glad I don't do live shows on my channel. Look, it's fun once you get the thing set in, go live. I mean, that's the way to do. I like wieners with ketchup. I know. Did you see that? But in Iceland, I mean, it's probably all frozen already. The Mark of Excellence loves wieners. What's up, guys? Crazy week. Brand new Cascadia with less than 40,000. Sent back to Freightliner for electrical repairs. Running paper logs. That's awesome. Here's a new truck. Please go fix it. So that's great. But you at least get your paper logs. Trucker Hershey, Facebook is offering to pay people to log off Facebook until after election. Really? How do I get in on that? And how much are they paying? Can I log off and get paid for it? That'd be great. Hi, Mark from Baton Rouge, rolling to Texas. That's not bad, but you couldn't do that if you're 18 to 21 years old, right? Because they wouldn't allow that because it's interstate. But you could go all the way across Texas once you get there. Christopher Robin, let's see, talking to the clearinghouse, basically said it may take a year to resolve your situation. Oh, do the snap or wait basically another year. Do the snap. What are we talking about, the snap? Refresh me. Not on board with that. Insurance is already through the roof. If they let it happen, we'll not be able to afford insurance. Well, but they can already go. See, the problem is they can already go 800 miles. And I think the real problem is it's going to lower everybody's pay. It's going to lower. But is that a reason not to do it? Because it'll lower people's pay. Anyone know how long you can run paper logs these days? Dispatch says 8 days, but we know, yeah, you can run them, but then after that, they have to send in a thing to the FMCSA, which your company will do, and say, look, it's going to be longer than this, and the FMCSA can approve them for longer than that. And your company should, we have it, there's a form you take with you that says, from this day or whatever, for your first 8 days, my ELD is disabled, or this truck doesn't have it, that kind of thing. So that isn't a problem. I had a roller breakfast in Burbank, Washington this morning. Berwyn. Tomorrow they're getting snow. Yikes. So tomorrow it's the 8 inches of snow, possibly in the higher elevations out west. That's crazy. That's why you're already carrying your change. Chris Dunaway's here. Hello. Stan Dodge, I'm from, what are we talking about that, though? Hey, it happens, 312. It happens, you're here now. You just didn't want to share your rolling wiener. I know, I had to just finish it up. I'm like, I've got to finish this. I'll just make something up. Mike Scott picked up 2 line haul runs from South Bend to Fort Wayne and back, and then South Bend to Grand Rapids and back. Plus my 9 hours of holiday pay. Nice. Quarantine 4 days last week. Got to make up some pay. Why'd you get quarantine? Did you think you had the COVIDs? Now, if your company is less than 500 people in total, you get paid for that. So they have to pay you under the Safe Quarantine Home Act or something. I forget exactly what it was, because a couple of drivers sued their companies and won on that kind of stuff. So the chain law is up. Holy moly. You were just having to carry them. Yikes. This is going to be a mess already. How many people are going to crash in the first snow when it's September? Getting mileage plus 8 hours of holiday pay. That's good. Even if you work, you should still get the holiday. You're from Wyoming. Anything's possible after August 31st. That's the end of summer. That's it. We go, that's it. Put the horses away. Working and getting paid. That's what they should do. You should get the day if you're off or work. 100 degrees at Salt Lake yesterday. Snow tomorrow. I don't know about Salt Lake. They were talking about the higher elevations in Colorado. I don't know if it'll go all the way out there to England's headquarters. Smith is paying, though. They should only go there. Smith is paying 50 cents on bi-weekly home Wednesday, Thursday. Who bought Millis a Heartland Express? Truck is on its second set of batteries. Alternator's overcharging. Batteries are smoking. Nice for a brand new truck. What is the deal with that? Do they do that change with all the channels live? Yeah, it's a change in the YouTube, the way YouTube makes you fill, the back end of YouTube. When you click on the go live, a page used to come up. Then they called it classic streaming. Well, apparently that classic streaming has gone away. This is the new Coke of streaming, apparently. And me and Bill Cosby weren't in on it, so I don't know how to do it. And I didn't put the stream key in, and I didn't click things, so it should work better next week. Although, who knows? Sorry, man, Heartless Express. Now, people at Millis are saying that not much has changed at Millis, so it's basically still the same place, pays the same. Every truck still go 70, some of them go 70, so should be okay. The Avengers Thanos snap. Yeah, don't watch the Avengers. $100, $150 to stay logged off. Offers to people critical of Democrats. So I should start being critical of Democrats and I can get $150 out of Facebook? Huh. What are your thoughts on Holland? Anything about stock prices? Well, I have a couple stocks. Holland, it's with the yellow, and I'm always a little concerned about that since, they went almost broke. Yellow's 410 or 416 as of Friday on yellow stock. And yeah, free insurance, union company, pays good. So I'm in. It might be worth, say they open for 2 years and you got a 50% pay boost for those 2 years. That's the thing. You can always still go do something else, especially if they close and you lose your job from a layoff. Companies don't look at that like you're, a job hopper because you lost it because of the layoff. So might be worth it. If there's one close to you, I don't know if I'd commute 200 miles to one, but am I working today, Mark? No. Off on holidays here. We get about, 8 or 9 holidays a year off. Handsome Poochie. Hello. Happy Roller Arena Monday. On my way home. 7 weeks out. Oh, man, that better pay good. I remember that. I stayed out 5 months one time. That's the longest I've been out. That won't happen again, believe me. Surprised Holland is still running. They got some rough equipment. Some of them don't look great, but as long as the air works, right? What about that federal tax hold? Okay, so some companies are not withholding the 7% or so of your paycheck. You're going to get a pay boost. But at the moment, the way I understand it, and somebody can correct this and probably will, is that starting in January, that money gets paid back. So you'll have it taken out double starting in January. Now, Congress can change all that before January. They're not even doing it here where I work, so I don't even have that option of it. So it's up to the company, too, if they want to do it, apparently. Global warming, my greasy wiener. Yeah, global warming, it's freezing already. Troy's working today, so mileage plus holiday pay. That's awesome. Michael Muller says, I heard we have to pay the payroll tax back next year. That's what I heard, too. Starting in January, it'll be reversed, where they'll take double each paycheck out, because now they're not taking anything, and then they'll take double for each paycheck out, depending on how many paychecks you got it. So 12, say it's 12 weeks. And then next year, the first 12 weeks, it'll be double will come out. That's the way I understand it right now. Joshua's running hard on I-40. Yeah, staying south of the snow. We already got to take the south route. I'm already thinking, San Francisco to New York? Right. I'm going through to New Mexico. You still look like Adam Savage. That'd be great. I wish I could meet him. Hello from Rochelle, Illinois. All right. I know where that is. Has anyone heard of Mike Maloney? What do you think? I don't know. Was he on Saturday Night Live? The Princess of Dixie Hill is here. Happy Labor Day. Hello. It's good to see you. I got a flash flood warning on I-80 in Ohio. Yeah, I guess it's raining over there. The rain came through here yesterday, so they're going to get it today. You and your daughter volunteered at the cat rescue this weekend. Oh, that's awesome. I'm sure the cats appreciate seeing you over there, too. So Gracie will come up and see what's going on with that. Oh, right. Gracie. We got her from Lori's Kitty Rescue, where I get all my cats from. So she's, as an adult, I usually get adults. So, because they're harder to adopt. Kittens are easy to adopt. So let's go take an adult. So this is the weekend that you could do that too. Which would be really nice if you would do that to a cat. This election season, Trump is investing more in YouTube and leaving Facebook. That's what I heard in the news. I don't know. I mean, he could. You can certainly run ads on YouTube. Absolutely. If you wear it always, make it a parrot My screen is frozen. I still show moving here. When I worked, I always worked holidays, double pay. Well, there's no option for that here, I guess. So it's bucketing down in Ohio and Michigan. I know. I mean, it's really raining over there. So that's nice. Trump says if he's reelected and we get a Republican House, they will forgive the tax that wasn't taken out. That's almost like buying a vote. I don't like that really. So. What company am I not working for today? The same one. So for new people that are here, which I don't know if there's any on Labor Day, but anyhow, I do this live show every weekend at around 12:30. I don't ever say who I work for. That keeps them out of my videos too. I mean, you just keep your company out of your videos. They don't give you any grief then. And also they do their own recruiting. Not every driver, a lot of drivers are out here recruiting for their company for no good reason, just to get the recruiting bonus, which we have too. Okay, let them get their own drivers. That just keeps it cleaner, I think. Then you don't have any problems. Safe Driver Week was a couple of weeks ago. And so they had this big blitz around the country. And the number one thing drivers are stopped for was speeding. What are we doing here? What really surprised me probably is the number two thing that drivers got tickets for, and that was seatbelt violations. Really? People are not wearing their seatbelts yet? Nope. Number 4, by the way, was handheld cell phones. Really? I mean, what is this, the 1974? Who doesn't have a seatbelt on and this same person's probably holding their phone? I ain't got no seatbelt on. Come on. Now, number 1 is speeding, which I'm not surprised about at all. What is doing in favor of Trump of essential workers on Vigor Express? I love that, essential workers. There's no essential workers, okay? They put that out there to get people to go to work. No one's essential, okay? If you think my niece says this all the time. She works at a gas station. Okay. Oh, I'm an essential worker. I said, you are not. I could come in there. You train people in 10 minutes to do your job. You're not essential. The only way you're essential, if you died, would they hang up that's it. They go, we can't function. No, you're not essential there. They can fire you. You die. It doesn't matter. Just remember, everybody's the same. Nobody's essential. So what are they doing in favor of essential workers? Nothing, because no one is essential, really. So, but at the moment, that essential bill that we're going to give essential workers extra money or whatever, that's going nowhere at the moment. Yeah, Michael Mueller, if Trump is reelected, we'll get rid of payroll tax and that Social Security will be out of money in 2 years. I never plan on getting it anyway. So, can you pull from your 401k up to $100,000 penalty free due to COVID? Just got to pay taxes on it. I don't know. Maybe. If you have $100,000 in your 401k, I guess you're doing all right. You can always pull from it. Well, I guess you can get a loan from it. They always say, hey, you want a loan? I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to pay interest on my own money. That'd be a great idea. Cash is king trucking. Joe Biden said something, but he already forgot it. What was it even intelligible? I'm not political, but men watching this guy's in stand-up comedy. Look, some of them, the stuff that they say is pretty incredible. Good afternoon, Mark, and Trucking Interest fans. Wilbon is here. It's good to see you. Hello, Mad Hatter. What's happening? Henry scored. What was number 3? Okay, number 3, I have the first 3. So number 1 was speeding. Number 2 was seatbelts. I remember 4 was handheld. Number 3 was disobeying a traffic control device. So that might be running a stop sign or a red light, that kind of thing. Trucks, left lane, some kind of traffic control device was number 3. But speeding, and really seatbelts anymore? Come on. Clay, I'm not working today, enjoying home time, but I get paid holidays. Paid government holidays. All right, I'll take it. It's a holiday. You should get paid for it. Still not hiring any drivers there? Oh, all right. Well, look, I think eventually that's going to come because there was an article that hiring is going up in trucking. So there'll be some more need for drivers as people get back to work. The unemployment's down to 8-point-something% now, right? 8.4%. It's still a lot, but way better than it was. Is there another inspection coming in September? Oh, well, September 9th to 11th is road check. Yep, and they are going to focus on ELD. And do you have everything you need for your ELD? Happy Roller Wiener Monday, everyone. Jim Trucker, happy Roller Wiener Day. Essential workers is essential. Exactly. There aren't essential workers The people they labeled as essential are like the lowest paid workers in a lot of places. Restaurant workers, grocery workers, gas stations, that anybody can go do that job. If you can be trained to do a job in 10 minutes, you're not that essential at the place. The 8th to 11th is another blitz. It says here 9 to 11 on my sheet, so Mad Hatter, did I get my new engine yet? No. Today's 3 weeks. People that don't know, I have a 19 Escape. It's in the shop, 7,007 miles on it. It needs an engine, which they're getting. And they're closed Saturday, Sunday today, so they don't even open till tomorrow. Engine not installed yet. So there we go. Car still in the shop. Have an Explorer as a loaner car from the dealer, so I'm not out of car, just the idea. And that Explorer is still huge, I thought. Christina asked that question to Dave Ramsey. He's good about 401k stuff. I agree. He'd probably tell you not to withdraw money from it also. But I don't know that much about that stuff. You can pull it from the 401k. I guess if you need the money, I think you would say, right, Dave Ramsey, to avoid a foreclosure or something like that, get the money? Yeah, I think so. I adopted a black senior cat. That's awesome. And black cats are the hardest cats to adopt. I don't know why that is, but Lori's always talked about that. Whenever she gets a black cat, it takes the longest to adopt that cat. So, and she won't adopt any in October because people do weird things to cats around Halloween. So if you want a black cat, she keeps all her black cats through the whole month. Clemmy George, I was doing research about Prime this week. That must be impressive. Trying to discourage a firm from making a mistake by going to truck school and Prime. What did you learn? The thing about Prime, right, the pay is not terrible to get started in the industry there. I don't like that team training thing, and they really push you to get a truck. Did anybody listen to that podcast that I mentioned last week from Planet Money about that driver that went to Prime, although that's partly her fault? No trucks left lane. Trucks seem to ignore that one. Exactly. Oh, they don't care. All trucks left lane, you can't even get over, back to the right lane because all the trucks are going by you in the right lane. Columbia George, the majority of YouTube videos about Prime seem to be by rookie drivers making recruiting videos. They, for some reason, and I noticed this and people talked about it, a lot of people had made videos about Prime. Somehow Prime got everybody to take these videos down. The only videos about it are by people that love Prime. Cash is King Trucking, I'm essentially a worker. I guess you're an essential worker at your company because your company would fold without you. The truck would just sit there. So I guess you would be more essential than anybody, really, at your company. Christina, I heard that tickets have gone up for speeding and the speed's gone up as well. Speed's over 100. It's not as much traffic on the roads. That's awesome. Speed's over 100. I don't know if you saw this. I don't remember if I mentioned it. Some guy just did the solo cannonball across the United States. So New York to L.A., he ran that by himself in like 29 hours. I forget what it was. He rented a Mustang GT and did it 29 hours. And a team just beat the team record in less time than that. They hit speeds of 179 miles an hour. Pretty awesome. Do not try this at home. New Prime is reusing Amazon, saying Amazon is slandering their good name. Yeah, they're like, hey, they're resuing Amazon saying, hey, you're our good name. You are slandering our good name in the industry. Politics are really not our thing on Trucking Answers, but we like to talk about trucking. Yeah, I don't go too much into politics. Certainly, you're right about that. There's plenty of channels that would be happy to talk about that all day, certainly. What happened to your 7,000-mile engine? Has coolant intrusion in cylinder 2. It has a cracked block in cylinder 2 from the water jacket to the block, which cannot be repaired. So they are going to remove the entire engine and replace it with a new one that came in a big box from Ford. And the Ford is going to take the engine back and, I don't know, look at it. I assume 3 monkeys at Ford will hit it with hammers and like that, where they have those white coats on. Classic. In front of a picture of dogs playing poker. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone has a great Labor Day. Thanks for the show. Hope the family's doing well. So, 73. Thank you for being here. 312 D-Man, Florida. Sky's getting dark in 31 south of Peru. Kokomo. Yikes. Let it keep going over that way. It is kind of dark here. But it's not storming because the cat doesn't like it. And she would be out here, certainly. Regarding seatbelt use, but my freedom. Yeah, that's what people say. I understand that. But that's the thing about the law. Okay, once there's a law, people always talk about that, about marijuana too. Oh, well, it ought to be legal. Okay, but it isn't legal. Okay, so if you want to work to change the law, I'm all for that. If you want to change the law, fine, but it isn't. So you got to follow the law because this is your livelihood. Once you start getting tickets, then you can't make a living. That's bad. Your freedom, okay, you have freedom, but then you don't make a living. I guess freedom means free from having a paycheck. I mean, that's a problem. Vigor expressed, we are essential. Keep moving America during COVID. All others are in unemployment benefits. There's all I see out here wherever I go are jobs. Meyer, I was at Meyer yesterday. I must have 12 signs up there hiring everybody. They're happy to hire everybody. We're not essential. Anybody can be replaced. That's what I'm saying, meaning essential. Overall, trucking is essential, but the individual person is not essential to the place. Meaning if they fire you, they just replace you with somebody else. How long is training to become a roller wiener? Well, once you got to move up from behind that sign that says not ready to the front of the sign where these are ready to go. Prime is recruiting people with that spa massage parlor. Their terminal is super nice. It's like a resort out there. Yeah, I'm a valued end user, Columbia. That's very good. Snap is drug and alcohol. I don't know if you missed my question. Yeah, I didn't quite understand the question. It's 600, and it's 600 or wait a year and fight it and try to get it off my report. So who's saying $600 to get that off there? Is that an attorney or something? I mean, Prime has new drivers leased under their trainer. Trainer gets a cut of the rookie's pay. Absolute garbage. Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't like the whole system. That's what you get for buying a Ford, Michael Muller. I always get Fords, and I never have problems with them. I was thinking back, this is the first Ford I've had in the shop for warranty work during its first 3 years under warranty since my 91 Escort that I bought brand new. That went into the shop for warranty work because it wasn't getting any kind of fuel mileage. I was getting 14, 15 miles at a gallon. And they're like, oh, well, you just got to brake it. I'm like, baloney, right? It does not just have to brake in at 14 miles a gallon. So they kept it. They gave me an Escort wagon, which I really liked. And I thought I should have bought a wagon. They kept it a week and gave it back to me and said, oh, we think it had too thick of oil in it. So we changed the oil. So after that, it got like 36 miles to the gallon, amazingly. So I don't think it was the oil. I don't know what they did to it. They would never admit it. But that's the last Ford I've had in for warranty work. How about that? Like Scott, that's why I like Mark, cat lover. I know, love him. Doesn't show for company. I appreciate that. Not part of the YouTube trucking community drama. Oh, believe me, drama is out. There's plenty of people doing that. Oh my gosh. And thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. New team record is insane. Did the 2904 once. I know. Did you see that? These two guys cruised across here in, what'd they get out of there this time? An Audi, right? The team did it in an Audi. It's more essential jobs than essential workers. Correct. Certain jobs are essential to the economy where the workers doing the jobs are easily replaceable. Correct. Right. But they make it, the government put it out as essential workers so people would go, oh, you people have to go to work. You're essential. And then people talk to me all the time about my niece. I'm an essential worker. I'm at the gas station. I'm like, look, I fill my truck up at an unmanned station. We don't even need you to fill up. I don't even go inside. I'm like, literally, I don't need you to fill my car up. So you're just there to sell wieners to people. That's it. Mark Ely is late. Yeah, so was I. Joined the party today. There are only 2 good trucking channels. Well, that's good. I wonder what they are. Cash is King Trucking is one of them. I wasn't consulted when they made the laws, so I don't really follow them. They didn't ask you, and so you don't have to do them. Plus, you only have to follow the laws in your own state. I've actually had people tell me that. Oh, well, I'm from, this state, and that's the speed limit, so I can do whatever I want. Did you see Prime's, the top 20 best fleets to drive for? Who would vote for Prime? They asked the companies themselves, I think. They send a letter to Prime. Who do you think is the best company to drive for? And then Prime writes in there, Prime Inc., and they send it back. Steel Horse over 100 watching. We're back. Yeah, well, part of it is because 12:30 to 1, I don't get as many people in because I did change the time on everybody. So other people were also not consulted and did not receive an email. Dave Johnson. Jeff Hudson, freedom is a word for nothing less to lose. Oh, very good. I had to wait too long the other day at 7-Eleven for my roller wiener because some guy in an oxygen bottle make the clerks search for his brand of cigarettes. Oh, I love that. It's either cigarettes. Whenever I'm in there, it's cigarettes or lottery tickets. And, of course, the lottery tickets. Oh, I want this too. You mean this too? With the jokers? No. The Santa ones? No. The tree. I mean, oh, really? Okay, just take any ticket. Okay, here, let me take your money and just rip it up and throw it away. It's the same thing. So Ford is first on race day. That's good, except mine wouldn't be, I guess. Prime can afford the nice terminal since they have no truck payments, since they leave everything out to the newbies. That's correct, and that's what that podcast from Planet Money talked about with that lady that was a lease driver there. That many weeks she had a minus $200 paycheck once. So, some weeks she owed them money. I'm stuck in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, getting unloaded at Pepsi, the taste of a new generation. How long does that kind of place take? Columbia, Georgia's Dread Pirate Trucker still on YouTube. I don't know, I haven't seen him for a while. He used to do live shows at night that were quite informative and only partially coherent for a while, but and then he just kind of disappeared. So I don't know what happened to him. Paul Harris, essential work is both the person holding the key and the person to press the red button. That's the only, but you still need somebody else. So I guess you're both essential. What about the Fairmont? That Fairmont was before the Escort, and those were, that car I bought used. And the car actually ran good. My Fairmont that I had actually ran pretty good. 250 straight 6 in that. How about that? Keto, Walk, Get Fit. Hello, what's happening? Cassius King Trucking, I'm sure warranty work is 4 monkeys hitting with a hammer, but in white lab coats. So I don't know what they're doing. Michael Mull, I'll take my 82 Mercedes 300 TD over an American-made car. That's the thing, right? I get my car made in America, and then it's back in the shop because the Escapes are made in Louisville, but still made here in the U.S. Mark for president of the ATA, worse administration than the actual president. Yeah, Chris Spears, he's out griping this week. Did I write that down? What is he griping about? Oh, the hair testing. The government wants to do hair testing and have standards and stuff to do hair testing. Now, who's the companies that usually use hair follicle testing? The ATA companies. And so now the government wants to do it and say, okay, you can do hair testing. And he's like, what? We have to do hair testing? So that was pretty funny. Because the government is going to make you do hair, but you'll also have to collect another sample. In case the hair test is positive, you'll have to test a different sample, and it can't be hair. It has to be one of the other ways. And the government is going to have, then they put this in there, medical exemptions. So if you don't have hair, which we talked about here, from treatment or whatever your problem is, there's going to be alternative. You can do it. And also for a religious exemption. So I guess you could say my religion prevents me from you taking my hair. But that was in there too. And then Chris Spears against it. He's like, oh, wait a minute. That's going to cost our companies a bunch of money. All your companies do hair testing already. Kitty Lynn got done washing my 2 cats. Wow. Where are you back from? The hospital? I mean, holy mackerel. All these new cars have problems. I'm telling you, I get a lot of cars, and this is really the only problem I've had. And 13, I got a Focus, new, no problem. 16, new Focus, no problem, right? 17 got an Escape, no problem. So this one, and now here, this one, engine. Prime Inkley sounds like multi-level marketing. It is. The thing is, like this lady, which on this Planet Money, it just aggravates me some about Prime doing it, but then her too. They ask her, well, when they put all these papers down in front of you, did you read them? And she said, no, I just signed them because they told me to sign them. Look, you got to read everything that you're signing. Ralph, good afternoon. How's the cat? She's tired, but doing good. Gumball, I know, that was I like that one too. 90% of essential workers are minimum wage earners. Yeah, or low wage workers, that's right. So they wanted those people to go to work. I totally agree with you. They said mostly those are the people that are essential, right? But all those places need people. Meijer, Kroger here is hiring, you can go to work immediately. It's $600 for the program. It will still be on my record for 3 to 5 years. Fight it to get it off for up to 12 months. Well, see, okay, so you had, right, didn't you get a positive before? I keep forgetting. Before you went to work somewhere, I wouldn't want, I'll tell you what, to have a positive, if I remember right now, as, when you get in your extreme upper 30s, your memory starts going. I didn't take my ginkgo today, I guess. But if I remember you had this positive on there, I wouldn't want a positive on there. It'd be almost worth paying a lawyer, make sure that he can get it changed or whatever. Having a positive on there for all those years is just going to be, it's Western Express City. You might as well just put your application in over there. It seems like a fuel diesel pickup would be a good candidate for a Cannonball. Oh, they get good mileage and you could have an auxiliary fuel tanks in the bed. No, because it doesn't go fast enough. This guy with this Mustang GT that did this New York to LA solo took the passenger seat out and the back seat out and put auxiliary fuel tanks in there and in the trunk. Okay, and he stopped one time for 8 minutes. He had a friend meet him with a tanker, basically, on the side of the road in Oklahoma and stopped for 8 minutes and filled it up. He had 180 some gallons of fuel or something in it. So I don't think a diesel pickup would be good because it can't go fast enough. I mean, this in the Mustang GT, he was doing 159 miles an hour for quite some time straight because all this is recorded for posterity. Cash is king up from the state of confusion, so it's a free-for-all over here. You can do anything you want anywhere. Here's the name I don't pronounce correctly. Nedaka for the masses. Shut down for the day in Memphis. Kind of surprised no riots. Oh, well, give them time. It's only one. They're just waking up from yesterday's riots. Love of Fairmont. I like that car. Mine was an ex-government car, which had those little tiny hubcaps on it and stuff, but it ran really good. I think I paid $800 for that car, but this is a long time ago. It's not the least I've ever paid, by the way. I've paid $200 for a car. Jeff Hudson, Prime is at the top because 40,000 drivers must be wrong. Well, because there's 40,000 drivers there doesn't mean it's a good company. How many of those drivers have experience? Do they get a lot of drivers that have 20 years experience coming over there? No, they don't. So, and no solo driver at Prime has really ever been able to show me that they make any money. If they'll drive there by themselves, leasing a truck. That's, oh, Mark, I lease. Well, you have a student. Well, yeah. Well, okay. Well, it takes two of you to do that. Right. Did anybody see this too? Hurricane is advertising on Facebook. They posted in their comments, well, not they, one of their drivers posted some settlement sheets in there. I love that. Somebody said, well, post the settlements, and a driver did. $1,200 gross. $1,400 gross after truck payment. And what it says on there is net pay. That's not his net. That's his gross. So if you own the truck after everything and you make $1,400, you can do that as a company driver. That's no kind of money. He's still got to pay taxes on that. He's got to pay his health insurance if he wants it, all that kind of stuff. No way. That isn't money to own your own truck. You should be doing way better than a company driver. Heading westbound on I-80 through Wyoming, the windsock state, for now until it's the snow state. A little bit mad at 34, rather be home on my Illinois, off my lie. Stop doing burnouts in the escape. Well, you can't help it with that kind of power. I've only got 3 hours left. I'll be doggone. I'm going to let them take for a drug test. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Delivered to Tractor Supply in Lubbock, Texas. How's it going down there? Well, how's this Pepsi doing, by the way? Dreadpart merged his channel. New channel named The Cyber Monkeys. He merged it? So he had like a business merging? The Cyber Monkeys? Okay, what is that? Are those the people that are going to work on my car? Are these the same Cyber Monkeys? The best trucker YouTube channels are Trucking Answers and Smart Trucking and the Trucker's Coach, Jim Trucker. I appreciate that. I appreciate being in line with those. That's for sure. It's much more expensive than a urine test. Why do they do it? Jeanette, if it's more money, why do they do the hair testing, especially right now, companies? Because they're not required yet. So a hair test isn't required. It's not even allowed. They have to. The only test that they could do anything for is a urine test. So why do they do this hair test? Because right now when you do a hair test, they do a urine test because that's the one that gets reported. So why are they doing it if it costs more? Wait, never mind. I guess they could take back hair. Actually, they talked about that in there in the article, and it said they will take hair from wherever they need to get it from. You'd have to be basically like hairless too. But it does allow for that in there. If you don't have hair, there's a way to, they'll take, still do, a urine sample would still be allowed. It wouldn't be like, oh, well, no, you can't drive. Michael Muller, what's the company going to do if you have alopecia? Right, meaning you have no body hair. That's what they said, right. And they won't hire me since I can't submit a hair sample. Well, no, what it actually says, the FMCSA actually says that there'll be an exemption for that. If you have a medical condition where you don't have hair, either from treatment or from a condition like alopecia, which is you don't have any hair, you can submit an alternative sample, meaning a urine test or a blood test. So they have already put that in there. They can require a hair test, but if you can't give the hair test because of a reason, then they can take another different way. Roger Penske, by the authority vested in me as a mail order minister in the Universal Truth of Life Church of Modesto, California, You pronounce Trucking Answers as necessary. I appreciate that. Wow, that's something. I wish they came with a certificate of authenticity. Are they going to put in a junkyard motor? I heard some dealers do that. Mad Hatter. No. You get a new engine. I saw it over there already. There's a big box sitting there, but it comes in two pieces apparently. There's the engine, comes in one crate basically, and then the box of all the gaskets and screws and all the other parts that get replaced because a lot of them are torque to yield bolts and stuff they can only use once. That comes separately. He said that is taking longer to get. For some reason, there's some kind of screw shortage, I guess, in America or something, and they can't get that part of it. So that's what they're waiting for, and so that's what we're waiting on. So the thing just sits over there. I guess it'll keep even lower miles than it already is. This month is 1 year. It only has 7,007 miles on it. Why do drivers stay with bad companies? It's like they have Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, people always stay. They're very hard to get people to change anything that they want to do. I should consider a Genesis G90 sedan. Oh, that'd be pretty awesome, wouldn't it? That'd be an upscale from my Escape. The thing about the Escape, it's the wife's car, really. We looked at a lot of cars, and that's why we traded the one we had in for another one. The size of it is perfect for the wife. It's perfectly sized for her to get in and out of it, to move it around town. She's the one that drives it almost all the time. I just drive it on the weekends to fill it up for her and wash it, is basically why I'm in it on a Sunday. So that's the story with it, but it's the wife's car. So for me, the sedan would be good for me, but that's the wife's car. Trucking Answers and Smart Trucking are essential. Well, that's great. That's true. Read and understand everything you're assigning. I know. The lady says, oh, I didn't read anything. Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. They said, did you investigate how all this works? No, not really. They just said I'd make a lot of money. And so, I mean, that's a real problem. I feel bad for her anyway, because Prime knows this, knows they're going to take advantage of people, and knows they're not going to make all their truck payments. So Prime knows, oh, well, these people will just, it's no problem. We'll get them to pay our truck for a while. It's still not right, though. Roger Penske, if you had my Mark's Roller Wiener money, I'd have a Rolls Royce Silver Cloud. That'd be, wow, that'd be something. There, Michael Muller, there is a guy named Weston Chapin on YouTube. He put a first-gen Cummins in a Mustang. He could do it. That'd be pretty something, but you don't need to do that to do this New York to Los Angeles. This guy rented a car from Enterprise or whatever, and no problem. And just a rental Mustang. It's just a silver Mustang. Trucker Beetle Bailey is here. Hello there. Steelhorse, if you have a positive drug test, no good paying company will hire you, period. Exactly. I mean, that's why since you got this positive on here for whatever reason, you got to fight to get that off of there, because it's going to be Western Express. That's it. You might as well fill out, either pay a lawyer or fill out the application, because that's the only place you're going to go that's any kind of decent, that's going to pay you more than 10 cents a mile. Oh, let's see here. Yesterday, driving the hardware store, I saw Stevens Transport, independent contractor. Yes. Almost spit up my coffee. Never met anyone who fell for that. Oh, there's tons of people that fall for that. They're leasing that truck. Yeah. Can you imagine that guy that did the cannonball run over Hertz and Hertz renting that car? Yeah. Can you imagine turning it in the next day? It's got 3,000 miles on it. Does Western Express hire from Leavenworth? Western Express requires you to have 2 years of hard time experience. You have to be able to show where the ankle bracelet was, the ankle monitor. The Louisville Bat Museum was vandalized. The riots at Louisville Churchill Downs have several arrests. Really? Christina, they vandalized the Louisville Bat. What does that have to do with anything? Did they get the top of the Bat restaurant too? That's terrible. There's a restaurant, and it's a rotating restaurant at the top of the Bat. If you have a student in the truck, that make both of you an employee of Prime. Paul Harris. Oh, Prime doesn't care about any of that. Hurricane is horrible company. What a joke. They were $1.17 is what they pay. And you know what? In the comments, I was reading the comments because it comes up as a Facebook ad. The funny thing is, people love the trucks. They have nice trucks. Agree. People are like, oh, yeah, I would do that for that truck. So I don't understand it. That truck isn't going to pay your bills. So you'd rather make $1.17 so you could have a nice truck? That's crazy. I make $1,400, $1,800 weekly as a W-2 driver, trucker Beetle Bailey. With insurance, you have to sign a contract at Hurricane. You'll never own the truck. Exactly. Why are you going to make $1,400 as an lease purchase person? And it says net. I love that. That's gross. You have to take your taxes, your workman's comp, whatever the occupational accident insurance, they call it, and health insurance if you want to buy it for yourself. All that stuff's got to come out of that money. You're not making any money. That's company driver money. Blinded by the lights. They're right. Remember, exactly, Steel Horse. One light's out, that's a write-up. If you put extra lights, they all have to work. That's the problem of putting all these extra lights on there. And companies, as far as I know, now I haven't looked at a load board, but does it say like $210 a mile, but $220 a mile if you've put extra lights on your truck? Are loads like that? Hurricane are driving Christmas trees, and they hire drivers that like lights. Yeah, they like lights instead of pay. Handsome Poochie, I'm a company driver for Prime. I make the same as my trainer in a lease truck makes. The lease program is a scam. That's correct. A driver there told me $1,750 a week. I haven't seen one that high, but I have had people write in at $1,300. But I guess a lot of it depends on the truck that you choose and stuff like that. I could see him going to that. That's incredible. Does Explorer do a good burnout? It's okay. It's rear drive now for 2020. And this one has the smaller engine, the 2.3 turbo, which is still 300 horsepower. Not bad. So it actually does 0 to 60 in 6.8 seconds, according to MotorWeek. That's pretty good for something that, weighs close to 5,000 pounds. It gets cruising down the road good. There's an even bigger engine. There's a 3-liter 6-cylinder in it. That's 400 horsepower, so that would be even better. But the Explorer hustles right down the road. I had my back here taken by what? Company is advertising. Company solar drivers make $3,000. I know. You sent me that, so I don't remember the name of the company. They're advertising $3,000 a week, and then in the comments, and then people are like, "What? $3,000 a week? Yeah, at 50 cents a mile." So, are you company solo drivers running 6,000 miles a week? Anybody doing that? Could they take ear hair? Yeah, I think they could. Hello from York, Nebraska on a reset. Does it feel like Sunday to anyone else? Yes, it will later, especially. Joe Smith applied for a local trucking job in Casa Grande. I remember Casa Grande. For a company titled Powerhouse Trucking Pros. That sounds awesome. Pays $1,400 a week. Once I got hired, I found out it was Sear, England. Really? Oh, so Powerhouse Trucking Pros must be like a driver recruiting company or something like that. But are you there, and are they actually paying you $1,400 a week? Clay, I was told by a doctor before the test was done for hair follicle, if I wanted to submit a hair follicle or fingernail. Oh, apparently your hair and nails are made up of the same compounds. Well, that would mean then if you were getting like cancer treatment, that if your hair fell out, I guess your nails fall out. I don't know. Anyone on here know that? That's interesting. Christopher Robin Trucking, thanks for answering. Appreciate it. You're quite welcome. Get that solved, certainly. Once I get to orientation, the pay was actually $600 to $800 a week. Dang it. So, you left after a month. So during that month, you must have asked them, hey, where's my $1,400? What did they say about that? Because I'd say, hey, aren't you guys advertising 14? Where's my money? That kind of thing. Nails have more density than hair. No hair, use fingernails for hair follicle test. Have you heard anything about dynamic transit? Yeah, I think I did a video maybe about their leasing, though. That's why I think the sign-on bonuses are a scam. They know if I lower you in, it's a pain in the butt to switch companies. Oh, right. Drivers don't want to switch. They'll stay at a company that's paying almost nothing. It's really hard to get people out. That's why they don't raise the pay as much as they could. Steel Horse, there are company drivers that make $100,000, keep your record and no accidents. I know. So there are company drivers, right, making $100,000, and then there's this lease purchase driver making in effect $70,000 gross, and has to pay his own health insurance and everything else. Crazy. And then people do it what? So they put a bunch of lights on your truck? Holy mackerel. Hang Christmas tree lights around your sleeper. Captain Flatbed, hello from Mississippi. I'd be more impressed if the guy rented a Hyundai Elantra to do the Cannonball Run. Cash is king. There should be one like compact car Cannonball. George Costanza is here from Central Park. Werner has never treated me wrong. They gave me my first start and have always treated me well. I see no reason to leave when you're happy. There's something to be said about stability. Oh, look, I agree. Look, if you like the place, then absolutely. But I'm saying for people, even this lady on the podcast, she was there month after month, not making any money, owing them money. I think it was 9 months, she only made $4,000 in 9 months leasing the truck. I think even you would agree that if in 9 months at Werner you made $4,000, you'd probably leave too. That's $500. What I'm saying is people will stay even when the conditions are horrible. People sit a week. I get these letters from England especially, not making any money, and then don't leave. If your company treats you well and you make money, yeah, absolutely stay. What do you think of Tribe Express? What's everybody think about the Tribe? Run by an actual Tribe member. Justin's, I think that's printed on the truck too, isn't it? Justin Sturgill is also educational channel, but you're still number one, George Wilson. Well, thank you. I try as much as I can, believe me. Not sure, just heard that this morning. Warner didn't hire you 12 years ago because your credit. I know, I don't understand that either. I haven't talked about that for a while, but some companies check your credit, which I do not agree with at all. You know, and if you don't have a certain credit score, they won't hire you. And wouldn't it be like, well, I need to get a job. I mean, credit, I can't pay my bills. That's why my credit is crappy, so I need a job. I would never equate credit with a job. Bat lives matter, especially at the top of the Bat restaurant in Louisville. If you find a place you like, stay with them, certainly. If they're paying you money you need to live and they're treating you well, you should stay, yeah. But I think that if you're at a place and you work the whole month and you haven't made any money the entire month, but you've put loads all over the country and haven't been home, I don't think that's worth staying there. You're basically a volunteer. Cash is king trucking. I'd prostitute myself out for the right amount of chicken legs. That's true. That's true. Basically, your live show's now all ads for companies, which I'm sure you'll be live, Labor Day live. It's like all people today. Paul Harris. Who reads word for word one of the terms of service? Did I read the terms of service of YouTube? No. 90% of the audience did not read them. I agree with that. Okay, this is different, though. People using YouTube, most of the people are not being paid for it. When you're putting your signature down on a piece of paper for a truck that's $150,000 and they're going to take this money out every week, you at least got to look at something. Look into it. Like she said, she didn't look into it at all. They just told her that it'd be a good deal. I mean, you're starting a business. When you buy a truck from Prime or anybody, you're starting a business. So if you've never done it, you've been in the industry 2 months like she'd been, you should probably do a little research before you sign for $150,000. That's all I'm saying. Do you read every word? Probably not, but at least look into it a little bit. If you want a real good ride, eat your GMC Yukon for why would I eat it? Comfortable, very good, long lasting. That would not be good for gas. I have a 2000 with 307,000 miles on it. It's 4-wheel drive. I know that'd be too big for the wife to get in and out of. This Explorer she doesn't like already because it's too big for her to get in and out of. It's too tall. This one doesn't have any running boards on it. It's just an XLT, even though it's like 47,000 on the sticker. But it's too tall for the wife. So since that's her car, that kind of thing wouldn't work for her. Steel Tiger 86, hello. And then Steel Horse, 100,000 company driver with health insurance is a reality. Yeah, absolutely. That seems like a better deal than $70,000 and no health insurance and trying to pay for the truck. Because holy mackerel, if at some point you need to quit that $100,000 job, you don't still owe on a truck. Lights decrease fuel mileage, just like running your air conditioning, Michael Muller. I'm still running my air. I don't care about that. Oh no, cash is king. Don't be so cheap. Oh no, he's in it for the cashola, right? Cash is king. Hurricane drivers are the same guys who will say paying $3,000 a month to have deductions is totally worth it. Oh yeah, that's completely worth it. Just to have a truck with lights on it. You know, some companies will let you add lights to the truck that you already drive if you want to do that. I'd rather you did that as a company driver than just go work for a place for $1.17 that has lights on the truck. Just put a couple $100 into lights if you want to. Joe Smith, I worked for Prime and did the lease program a few years ago. I grossed $1,800 a week. That's not great. Made $85,000 for 3 years straight. I don't understand where the scam is. That's not great. $1,800 is not after expenses. You have to buy insurance and all that, and you can do that as a company driver, what I'm saying. And was that solo? Number one, was that solo? But $1,800 is doable as a company driver without any hassles. On the road at a good company. And $1,800, you'd have to buy your own health insurance in a marketplace. You'd have to buy your own dental. Vacations are not paid if you're a lease driver. Today is not paid as a lease driver. All that's not paid. So you don't end up making more than a company driver. You probably make less. Like I get 5 weeks of vacation paid a year off, plus like 7 or 8 paid holidays, that kind of stuff. You don't have any of that as a company or as a lease driver. at Prime. So you'd have to take 5 weeks off and pay yourself and pay the truck and all that. You would, at the end of the year, you wouldn't come up any better than a company driver at a good company. Nearly everybody on here gets vacation and all that kind of stuff. $1,800 a week is not great money to lease the truck. At least get a truck defender too. That's because your nail or hair. That'd be interesting. Building a fire pit in the backyard. That'd be good. I love my fire pit we had at Stoke last night. Don't do that in California, okay? Please do not do that in California. Where did I go off to? Pronounce NADOC. NADOC. Okay, sorry. Second, what do you think of E.W. Wiley? I don't know. What do people here think about E.W. Wiley? 2904 is a cannonball for less than the $3,000. Oh, I see. All right. On the road, howdy, everyone. NADOC. Got it. Load rates going up. Saw $4 per mile on a few loads and $3 on 10 others. That's pretty good. Cash is King already did a live show. Really? I was on today. I didn't see it pop up. The only extra lights that the company put on my truck are the ones I can replace myself easily and within my reach. Yeah, but you know, Michael Butler, that some companies will let you add lights to your truck if you want to, as a company driver, and then you can have a truck with all these extra lights on it. Is that positive hair follicle test for a pre-employment screen? $100,000 a year, no truck to worry about. I think that seems like a great deal. Steel horse plus insurance then, and vacation pay, holiday pay, all that kind of stuff. So you end up even better than that. Harold is at May, and I also don't get paid enough. That's true. How much do you think is enough to get something better? Well, it depends on your situation. Like, I wouldn't leave for like a half a cent, but I bet if you have experience, especially if you had a year of experience and you started calling around, you probably can get a considerable pay raise at a good place. Bad credit could be an indicator for bad decision making. Although it's proprietary, past behavior is usually a good measure and predictor for future behavior. It's what we do with stocks. I don't like it. I don't like it. I had a bankruptcy. Does that mean they shouldn't hire me as a driver? I don't think so. I never call off work or anything. But that doesn't mean, and I still went bankrupt years ago. 07 or something like that, 06. And but that doesn't mean I didn't come to work. Did everyone comment against the FMCSA 3-hour stop the clock? Did everybody at least make a comment on that? I'm not for it because I know nobody's going to get paid for it. The YouTube trucker chasing Andrew Jackson is doing an LP with quality carers and isn't making any money. That's a surprise. Benji, what does not making any money mean? I don't watch that channel. Alexander's here. Hello. Hey, lost voice, my voice streaming at Chipper. Good to see you. That was solo, $1,800 a week. Okay, 22 years old. All right, well, that's not bad at 22. I don't think about insurance. Still on my parents' insurance. Well, so you're not even an adult? I mean, look, that's what I think about that. You're making $1,800 a week. You can't go get your own insurance? You're lucky here because I didn't allow that. Right? Kids have to get their own insurance. Booted, right? Go be an adult. I don't like any of that kind of stuff. I personally think it's ridiculous. And you shouldn't even be on your parents' insurance. It should embarrass you. Honestly. I mean, really. You're making $1,800 a week and you got to have your parents buy insurance? Get your own insurance. But you should, even so at Prime, you'd have to buy your own insurance on the market. Not like through a company. Okay, market insurance is expensive. Hundreds of dollars a week at least. Getting back, and good insurance is very expensive. And then you'd have to pay your own vacations. Okay, so take 5 weeks off. Last 5 weeks of the year, you don't get to go to work, but you have to pay yourself the $1,800 a week, pay your truck payment and all that, because that would be a company driver. That I could do that here. So it isn't great money, lease purchase. In fact, what I'm saying is that kind of money, that's just company driver money. You had a lot of risk involved in it and didn't get any money for it. It actually is not a great deal. I'm getting back on the road, which I've been a stay-at-home dad for last year. I've been 3 years experience with U.S. Express, Dollar General. What do you think about the Dollar General account? What I hear is it's a lot of work. Is anybody still using Idler? I haven't seen one of those. Oh, contraptions. I love that on the road. Oh, my gosh. I always had my adapter ready. If you were at Make It Apparent, and also check out Jay at Auto Transport. All right, that's exactly. Where's Jay? Let's see where Jay is today. Oh, that's right. Don't forget about this, too. Fleet Nav Systems is back to their system at 3 o'clock, right? Tuesday. Jay, Auto Transport Intel, of course. My bell is not sitting there right. Let's see. GP Transco. It's Labor Day at GP Transco, but you can call them tomorrow if you want to be treated like a professional. Cash King Trucking knows no Labor Day. Every day he labors away live every day, 14 times a day. That was not bad for rhyming on the top of my head. And let's see, I went off here. I have to click that. Okay, I'm getting it together here. Koch is a great company. 5 weeks paid vacation. Never been to a 500. What kind of Hoosier? No, I don't like the crowds and all that. Not great. So, and that's not my kind of, racing. So, no, never had been down there. Don't go on vacation or have kids. Never really take time off. So I guess for the right person, it's not a scam. It kind of is. It's not necessarily a scam. Okay. If you read the whole thing, it probably tells you. But vacation is great. Take time off and get paid. See, you stay home and then they still give you money. That's what I'm saying. It seems facetious, but that is really great. You can go, okay, 2 weeks, I want a day off or whatever, and you get paid for it. That's the beauty of a vacation. So you have to work all that extra time to make what a company driver makes having a bunch of time off. So in fact, at the end of the year, if you put the days out in that, it isn't that much money. You're not factoring in what nobody does when they first get their truck like that is risk. The risk you have owning a truck. You're not taking any of that risk in that should pay money. Fire pit is my call sign on my backside of food cart Indian food. Hey, Mark, take one of those 3-person 2020 truck bunk letters and put it on your ride so it'll be easier for the wife to get in and out. Yeah, that'd be really good. I'd like to see her use that. I'm lost here. I leased with Swift. $3,200 a week, take home $2,100. All right, $2,100. By yourself? Then how much after you buy health insurance? Health insurance is, expensive on the market. Just go on the internet and say, I want to buy insurance personally on the market, which is what you'd have to do. It's not cheap, even when you're young. Thomas, I'm with you 35 years as an LTL driver. Never expressed. Just happened. Full my stuff from last week, 46 and a half hours. Little. Steel Horse has health insurance, $15 a week for your family. That's super great price. Dental's $10 for the family. That is a great price. It's $73, $73 a week here for 2 of us, which is still good in the industry. I have a 0 credit score. Guess I would never be hired. That's a problem too. See, these places will be like, well, why don't you have credit? And $10,000 death insurance. We get $25,000 life insurance here, which I love, right? Only if you're wearing a seatbelt. If you're killed in a car, you get it wearing a seatbelt. When's a good time to discuss pay raises with companies? I went from 30 my first year to 43. That's pretty good. Just wondering when I get more pennies a mile. Well, they should have a schedule. They should actually have it all written out. If it's not in your driver manual, tell them, hey, what's the pay schedule here? Most places have that out to 10 years at least. Paying your taxes like $250 per thousand on taxes, so take home $2,100. You need to set $600 aside for taxes. So there's $1,500 minus insurance. There's $1,100, and you make that as a company driver. Exactly. Nobody thinks about that. And plus vacation. So if you want to take off 5 weeks, and you need $10,000 to take 5 weeks off because you're making $2,100 a week. So take $10,000 out of your gross also for the rest of the year. The only time a credit check for a job makes sense would be if you made financial decisions. Maybe. But how many of those people really steal stuff? I know they always say that, but some people don't know how to manage money. That's all you adults living with mom and dad for years and years. That's kind of it, right? Just opposed. I didn't think they should ever do that with the insurance. If you're an adult, you want to be treated like an adult, go get your own insurance. You shouldn't be able to stay in your parents' insurance, and parents shouldn't let you stay on the insurance. That's what I think it's even worse. If you just buy your own truck, at least it's in a good company. You'll make way more money than you could ever make as a prime lease. Yes, if you would buy or lease your own truck on your own from a dealer or outside of a company, then put it on at a good place that have good rates, you'll make a ton more money than you'd make leasing the truck at Prime. You're basically just making their truck payment for them. It should be embarrassed. I think you're a cool dude. My parents are in the military and it's free. No, I don't think so. Why wouldn't my family take advantage? I wouldn't. Because why wouldn't they take advantage of that? Because I want you to be an adult. That's why. That's what I told the kids here. And that's what I would tell you. That at 26, that's crazy. You can't go making $1,800 a week and say, look, I want to be on my parents' insurance. It doesn't matter. I wouldn't care if it was free. I'd make you go get your own stuff. I would. I never had a car bought for me or any of that stuff. If I want anything, I had to go buy it myself. And that's the difference, I guess, in the generations, maybe. But just because something's free doesn't mean it should be given to you. Things that you work for are things that you appreciate more. Yeah, and I would be embarrassed to say, hey, I need to go get your insurance or whatever. I'm making 800 grand, $90,000 a year, but I need your insurance. I had less than 650 credit score because I have no debt, no credit cards, and no nothing for 10 years. I had to buy a car, so unfortunately I got whacked early. That's the problem. When you don't have it, and then they're like, well, you don't have any credit. And you go, well, yeah, so I can make my payments. They go, oh, no, you're never going to make your payments. Yeah, I will, because I don't have any other payments. Michael Muller, who do I drive for? Well, I like to keep that on the down low, as the kids say, for people that just joined or whatever. But it keeps them out of my videos, really. That's what I say about it. And, I don't recruit for them. Let them go recruit for themselves, although they're probably all off today, too. Buy a truck from bank or dealership financing, not company you drive for. That's a disaster. And plus, as the Falcon drivers found out, a lot of them lost their trucks. Celadon did okay. Some of those drivers got to keep their trucks, but a lot of the Falcon lease drivers, they lost their trucks. Arrow, same way. So Arrow closed. It was a big place. And a lot of those drivers lost their trucks and lost the money that they'd put into their lease trucks. That's another thing. And see, that's why you're not being compensated for that risk. There's a risk that you're not being compensated for. If you had the truck from a bank or something and your company closed, it's still your truck. You can put it on somewhere else. That's really something to consider when you're leasing a truck from a company. I found health insurance on the market for $250 a month. Really? What does it cover? Does it cover anything? My wife's insurance was like $4,000. We're paying $100 for it on her surgery, on her elbow. The other one wasn't as much. That one's not going to cost much. I mean, that's the thing. There's different levels. I looked into it to see. And my plan here is about $1,800 a month on the open market. So that's what you'd have to pay for it. A person can do better as a company driver like Nalco, Air Products, Western International, bring home $1,200 to $1,800 a week instead of low-paying LP jobs. LPs, even though you're making 85 or whatever, it's not that high of a pay because of the risk. Last time I used Idle Air, the smoke was thicker than the smoke in the manhole. Never used them since. That's always a problem, and Idle Air never enforced that, unfortunately. Anyone parked at an Idle Air should have to have their truck turned off. And so you're parked there, and some owner-operator just pulls in and leaves their truck running all night. They should never have allowed that. I don't know enough about other companies to recommend the Dollar General account. Attitude is everything. It was very difficult unloading those trailers. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. That account is a hard-working account. You get a workout doing that. I can imagine in the summer, the front of that trailer's got to be super hot. I miss getting paid for Labor Day by 26 days. Because you just started. I'll get Thanksgiving and Christmas. Well, we're still thinking of you. My health insurance is $88 a week. That's still pretty good. I get people writing in at $200 a week from a company, which I think's a lot. I make $740 a week over the road, Harold, and it's better than most jobs I had. But when I hear people getting $1,000, $1,800 with more home time, that makes you mad. I'm 22 years and 5 months experience. Yeah, get at least another month, probably another 7 months, and you can way increase that check and keep your record clean. $740 is low on the road. Okay, that's less than $40,000 a year. So that's pretty low. Get in a few months, though, believe me, you're about to get a pay raise. You're home every day? Yeah, exactly. At $88 a week, my health insurance. Thomas, I'm with you 35 years at Averett, LTL driver. Look at my stuff from last week, a little over $1,500. There you go, for 46 hours, home every night. Everything's paid. Oh, that's even better. Life insurance, health insurance, yeah, for $1,500 and home every day. That's pretty good. So is that better or worse than leasing a truck at $18,000? Or at $1,800? Yeah. At least kick some money to your parents for the insurance. Well, it's free. Korean Mafia insurance was $1,600 a month. Wow, $800 to you. That's still a lot. I got exchange for $250 a month total. I got RX Assist for $56 for 90-day supply, and Trulicity 30-day supply. Nice. That's a ridiculous mentality. I should pay for my own insurance because you didn't get it. No, it's a ridiculous mentality because you're an adult and adults pay for their own things. That's what I'm saying. You're leasing a $150,000 truck. You have a full-time job, right? You're running your own business, right, as a lease purchase driver. So you provide your own things. That's what an adult does. I had to fight. It was hard on my family. You're a truck driver professionally as the FMCSA. And you're piggybacking off that 26-year-old loophole. Sounds like a Democrat. I don't know about Democrat or not, but I do think a lot of people do this. They want to be treated like a professional or whatever. And okay, but you're an adult, presumably, right? So you would want to think of yourself as an adult. An adult pays their own bills. Okay? They do. Adult pays their own bills. Unless there's some reason. Like, oh, I broke my leg. Can you help me? That's one thing. But if you're an adult making $1,800 a week, I think you should pay for your own insurance. You'll be like, no. I'm not taking insurance from my mom and dad. I'm going to go get my own insurance. That is a different kind of thought process than, okay, I'll accept this because it's free and they'll give it to me. I don't think that's a good way to do things. Misty's here checking in, driving to Salt Lake City in the frontier from Vegas. All right. Princess of Dixie Hill. I'm a county employee. My health insurance is $285 every 2 weeks. Really? I thought it would be free. $1,000 deductible and they cover nothing. I make peanuts for what I do, and you would think the government would at least offer. I kind of thought the government would be free insurance. Clay, get your own bills in your own name. Yeah, Ryan, if whatever you need, a cell phone, a car, I don't co-sign for cars. Kids want a car, they get a $400 car if that's all they can afford, right? Cell phone, they got to have their own phone. Sorry, not putting you on my plan, you're an adult. Same kind of thing. Insurance, go get health insurance. That's how it works. I don't feel terrible about that at all. I'm like, you're an adult, go get your own insurance. As drivers, we should make no less than $2,000 net take home. I think you should at least gross $2,000. I wish it would go to that. We should gross over the road. Should gross more than local drivers, although that doesn't always happen. And it should be $2,000 at least. I mean, you're gone from your whole life. That ought to pay something. Company drivers should be $2,000. And a lease purchase or owner operator should make at least 1.5 times what a company driver makes, at least for the risk. Probably more, but at least. Otherwise, you're not covering all the risk it takes to keep the truck and stuff. Because the truck goes down, you have a real problem. That risk should pay. Source, I get home once a week, and I'm always home for 48 hours on a reset. I'm so lucky, but I worked for it and kept my record clean. That's how you got in that place, who's very strict, clean record, and now you have a good job, and that insurance is super cheap. That's like almost union coverage of insurance. Repo Man, yikes. I said bankrupt, and here's Repo Man. I came off the road about 4 months ago to be a transit operator. Paid for every minute, deadheads, lots of it. I went 3 weeks paid vacation first year and a great pension. What is a transit operator? Is that like, you're saying deadhead, but I mean, I thought bus driver right away. Because here it's the transit system. I don't know about that, Mark. Roger Penske, I appreciate free sex rather than paid. It's always paid. Then again, I suppose that one pays either way. There are things a Vegas gal will do that a wife won't or can't. Well, that's true. From the manhole, we know that. My health insurance and my company paid for my wife's breast reduction and for revised surgery after it was botched. Out of pocket, $2,000 total. Surgery cost $250, and you're out $2,000. That's really good. That's the kind of that $250 a month coverage that people say, which there's that kind of cheap stuff, is not going to pay this. You're going to end up paying half that or more. Now, so that's pretty good insurance. Jerry, this is ex-CEO Paul from Celadon. Need any money under the counter? I will have CFO of Roadrunner let you have $500,000. I appreciate it, but I just got an email yesterday, which I thought was good. There's a guy who won the USA lottery for $3 million, and he's going to split it up between 10 people, and I'm one of the lucky people. Isn't that great? He goes, if you are getting my emails, you are one of the luckiest peoples. And I thought, that's awesome. And so all I had to do is sending my bank information. Please to sending your bank information. And I sent it immediately, and I'm waiting for the depositing. Of course, that won't happen until the next businessing day, which is tomorrow. So I can't wait for that. My wife has $150,000 of my money. Nice. I've learned that having a family is an expense. That's true. But, they don't cost. They are worth it. I did leasing for 8 years. I'm making more now. Where did I disappeared. I'm making more now. Where did I go? I lost my spot. As a company driver. Yeah, depending where you are. If you lease it yourself, I think you can do okay. Certainly if you're outside of your company. But, leasing it from the place, no way. Of Cash King Trucking. Thank you very much. Be sure to tip your host. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Dollar General pays you good, but you will bust your butt loading or unloading. That's what I'm saying. That's a hard route. Good for those who want to stay fit, but you just want to drop on a hook. It's not going to work out. Dollar General's just a hard job. It's a hard job. If they pay you good, I mean, you really work it, though. Ugh. 80/20 or 3,000 deductible, then they pay 100%. That's pretty good. That's really good. House full of girls, you need to be in shape for your daughters. Yes, you can go chase after them. Saw 3 Celadon trailers at Target DC yesterday. Yes, and an astute viewer sent me the picture of the Celadon truck and trailer, which is incredible. There's still a Celadon International truck sitting at a truck stop. Alexander, you pay your mom's bills. If people need help, that's one thing. It's one thing if people need help. Don't get Mark. You just write the kids off? No. So if people need help, like COVID, I lost my job. Can you help out? I got to have something. That's one thing. But to just stay on insurance, that's a different thing. When you're making $1,800 a week, I think that's different. But you say, oh, I can't work. I'm sickness. Your mom needs your help or something. That's a different story. I think that's totally different. Michael Muller misses your free healthcare from Germany, but it isn't really free, right? I mean, some things cost more there than other things. But it's not totally free, but at least you wouldn't have to worry if you went in, right? Am I right about this? From a big bill. That's why I'm almost sold on it. Because you could go in and have this huge bill, and so you'd be afraid to get care. And we don't want that, because then people just get more sick. Cash King Truck, the only would let my kids stay on my insurance if they were in college. As long as they were going for a transportation degree, right? Misty, go to the Mob Museum. Is there a Mob Museum? That sounds awesome. If it makes you feel better to call me a non-adult for accepting free insurance, that's a you problem. How you raise your kids? I'm not spoiled. Okay, I think adults pay for their own stuff. Some people think no. Kids get free stuff. Adults pay for their own stuff. I think people pay for their own stuff. If I was making $1,800 a week, there's no way I would take free insurance from somebody. I'd buy my own stuff. I mean, I'm just not doing it. Free note paid by the high tax rate. There are other ways that they charge it there. I picked up a Metro trailer that still had the Celadon Indiana tag but had no registration. I called the office. They told you, no paperwork. Don't worry. No paperwork's available. You'll be fine. What am I on Facebook? Trucking Answers on Facebook. That's over there on Facebook. I said, no paperwork, no move. They said, what's the big deal? Yeah, don't worry about it. Hello, no registration. What's not to understand? Took till Monday. Did they finally get it? Because I'm wondering, how did they get it? And did the registration still say Celadon on it? Because the tag, if it's a Celadon plate, did it still say Celadon on the registration? Okay, yeah, okay, so it is a bus driver. Deadhead, driving it empty to wherever in the city you start. Oh, okay. See, here in Lafayette, it only starts at 1541. I've looked into it for the city bus, or it's called city bus here, because I thought, that'd be great. You do get paid for all your time. It's $15.41 an hour. That's not great money to start. That's, a little over $600 a week. And so I thought, I should have started when we moved here, really. Is it okay to be 1099 as a company driver? No, because you're not a company driver, right? You are 1099, probably illegally. So no, or not lawfully through the tax code. Company drivers are not 1099. You're employees. At this point, 40 hours or less is enough work for me. You can call it lazy, but I spent 15 years and I'm 43 and enjoy family. Happy to be regional, never cared for local guys. Okay, yeah, look, so regional works for you. So do it, right? I work about 45 hours a week or so. So, yeah, I'm with you. But people that don't want to do it, you want to see the country or whatever, do that, whatever works for you. I mean, you got to get up to a job that you want to go do. Roger Penske, did you know the Chicago Outfit member Frank Coletta died 8/20? I didn't know who that is. I'm going through a divorce. I can't right now. DPT had a cute girl knock on his truck and thought it was a lizard, but it was a receiver lady. Yeah, I remember that was an old video, right? I think he got in trouble with the receiver or something for that. Yeah, that's a classic. That came right after I'm Stuck in Sand video. I'm waiting for next business day. Yes, that's what it said. You'll be paid the next businessing day. I'm like, well, how do I fill out the form? I'm in. Dollar General is hard. I know. The Dollar General, I hope they tell it to people up front, because it's no joke. It's hard work, and they should tell people that up front, and so you know what you're getting into. But look, some people love it. They write to me, Mark, I love Dollar General. I'll unload all day. And I'm like, super. I mean, keep it. Keep the job if you can do it, right? Higher taxes, but also higher income to offset the taxes. And only out of pocket is $10 every 3 months for doctor visit and unlimited paid sick days. That's pretty good. Of course, that comes from somewhere, but yeah. So it's kind of like Alaska is what you're saying. Because I've looked into that. I'm like, oh, $90,000 a year for a local job? Right. But then they're like, oh, but rent's $3,800 a month and cereal's $15 a box. Okay. Capital One is lowering the limits on some people's cards. This will cause some people's FICO score to go down and might be bad for getting a job that runs a credit check. See, that's a problem. I don't have any credit cards, as I've talked about here. Since my bankruptcy, I didn't get any because I had tons of them then. But yeah, so that would be very difficult to get a job. Capital One lowers your score, and then your job, you go to get a job, and they go, well, your score's too low. You can't get a job. That's no way to do it. A real man's job embraces suffering. It's a work. All I'm saying, it's work, and sometimes not in the best neighborhoods. You guys keep using the word free. George Costanza, being on your parents' health insurance is not free. Their labor was paid to provide the health insurance. There's nothing free. That's correct. Nothing is free. Celadon's still out there. I couldn't believe. I can see the trailer some, but the truck, there's no reason they didn't know where that truck was. For at least, well, the batteries were still good on it. They could track where the truck was. I got to believe Celadon had tracking in their trucks. To have the tractor still sitting there is crazy all this time. I'm sure it's drained of fuel by now by some enterprising owner-operator, right? So I can't believe it still had tires on it. Swift has their own leasing now. Well, $475 a week, 30% off parts and labor. All right, that's a good deal. They've been doing that for a while, though, because earlier this year, as we saw from the lawsuit settlement, they paid out for trucks that they'd leased for the last 10 years. So Swift has been doing that for a while. $475, at least it's not a terrible price, I guess, depending on the truck you're getting. But it depends on what you make a mile. What do they pay a mile there, do you know? Celadon equipment is still over the road, but other companies own their equipment. Yeah, they're tracked. Somebody's still waiting for a load. At least in Germany, I never decide if I can afford to go to see the doctor. That's the only thing that's convincing me of that kind of thing, of the health insurance, is you got to decide, oh, do I go? I don't know if I should go to the emergency room or whatever. People there and in most countries don't have to be worried about that, like they're going to get a huge bill. And so that's almost worth the extra cost to make sure everyone has insurance, because when they don't, people just get sicker. Jonathan's in Seattle. The whole thing about the insurance is when you're an adult, you have to be self-reliant. Yeah, look, an adult takes care of their own bills. Okay. Children also do live streams and cry tears of joy over another Marvel movie trailer. Okay, well, Marvel movies. I don't watch them, but some people watch them. The wife kind of likes those, I think. Alexander, I purchased 2 cars this year. Got to grow up eventually. Yeah, exactly. I may have to get another one. I'll keep this through the warranty. Swift needs to invest in training their drivers. I think we see more of them on the road having accidents because there's just more of them on the road to have accidents. Being the largest truckload carrier, as they call themselves. Clay, we have a few Celadon drivers that came over to the company that told me they woke up to a pre-trip and found a company ELD message literally said in 2 weeks you're fired. Exactly. Some of them had less time than that. At least some of them got a notice. And that could be, look, that's at any company. Doesn't matter how big it is. CF, years ago, they were a huge place nationwide, and everybody got let go. Always keep a clean record, because you never know where next week you might have to put an application in somewhere. So don't think, oh, I'll just this ticket, it doesn't matter. I'm going to be here for a couple of years. Don't do that. The same with health and investments. Some drivers know that, and some didn't. They were hiring right until they closed the door. I know. I got a letter from people that said they're supposed to go to orientation. This was like on a Saturday. I remember this. They closed Friday. Then letter, I'm like, I'm supposed to go to orientation Monday. What do I do? I said, don't go to orientation. They're not going to have one, and you're going to have to just try and find another job. I said, you probably got lucky that your orientation wasn't last Monday. And that would have been even worse. I still have a 1989 190E Mercedes sitting in Germany waiting to be driven when I go on vacation. Nice. It just sits there and waits for you. That's pretty good. My Mercedes is waiting for me. I shopped at a general store, couldn't buy anything specific. Holy moly. But repo, man, I should have started a while ago. 2043 to start, so I'm taking a bit of a hit, but if I need overtime is available. Yeah, that's even better than here. See, maybe your town's bigger. I didn't think in the 15s. I mean, eventually you got up to 20. I think it was 24.93 after 2 years. You got up to, and then I guess it would go up each year. But I just didn't think 600 was going to cut it. And I didn't know how much overtime would be available because it's seniority based. So the older drivers may take the seniority, meaning drivers that have been there longer. Ooh, what's a good starter company? That's always a good question for everyone here. Family Dollar is the same deal, so all hand unloading. As long as they tell you up front and you're okay with it, it's a good workout every day. Getting Aviator Truckers getting loaded on the holiday. I think a 6-pack should do it. Oh, nice. So finally, Pepsi checked my credit score as low. They wouldn't hire me. Really? Well, that's not very good for a new generation. What is low? I'd say, what do you guys want? So I should go get some credit cards and raise my credit score to get a job here? Tell them I'm going to Coke. Over on the Gulf Coast, I deliver cases of alcohol to restaurants, bars, and package stores. I think it's tougher than Dollar General. At least heavier. At least all the stuff you deliver is heavy. George Wilson, the Chicago Outfit, and now the Las Vegas Mafia. Dang it. I didn't know there were all these places. There's an Al Capone museum in Hammond or somewhere. In the USA, it's socialism for corporations and the public doesn't get any real social help from the government. Yeah, we're a little freer on that stuff. I mean, it's kind of the bootstrap kind of thing. Speaking of good paying but physically hard driving jobs, hub out of San Bernardino as a run to Phoenix, unloading car tires for $30 an hour. That's not terrible. If it pays overtime, that's not bad. $30 isn't bad. Unloading car tires isn't super hard work. I remember being on at Goodyear years ago and unloading the trailer. It was hard work, but not terribly hard work because you rolled them out of the trailer. And there were people on the end to catch them. So, Anthony Grant, depending if you want to be local or over the road. Oh, that's interesting. I thought there was rule to stay in your parents' insurance. No, you do not have to. And I thought having a job was one of the things that unqualifies you. No, I don't think so. I don't know. Oh, well, that's the thing, too. I'm not sure about that, but if having a job unqualified you, you don't have a job when you're a lease purchase driver because you're not an employee, meaning employees have jobs, right? If you're lease purchase, you are a business owner, not an employee, so that would be someone with a job. That's how it works. I'm motivated to tell my parents I'm a big boy. That's good. Going to call them and let them know I'm going to pay $1,000 a month for my own insurance. Yeah, I would be more proud of you for paying your own stuff. Yeah. You should be too. That's the thing. I mean, it's so sarcastic of you, but I get it, right? But why don't you want to pay your own stuff? Because something is free, you just accept it. There's no pride anymore in paying your own way. You know, the money, getting the $1,000, I mean, you can get that no problem and pay the insurance. That's the thing. If you're making $1,800 a week, you should be able to pay for that insurance, especially if you're 22 and living in the truck. It shouldn't be any problem paying it. And yeah, I'm proud that I paid my own stuff. So should most people be. The stuff I have, I paid for myself. Absolutely. Nobody bought it for me. My brother actually calls the USA in a science project, like on the movies, putting different species on a plant and see how it goes, and says the country is failing from top to bottom. Okay, because everybody thinks that they're entitled to something. Like the fight for 15. That's crazy. It's good to see you again. I'm rolling out Steel Tiger. All right, thanks for being here. Call Knight. They are the Chrysler of the Swift Knight brand. Wow. I don't know if that's an endorsement of or not. They're the Chrysler of the Swift Knight brand. Is that an endorsement exactly? I'm not sure. You were the Mercury of the Ford Mercury Lincoln brand. Sure wish I finished training. I guess you'd be the Lincoln of the brand, I guess. What is the main difference between a regular flatbed and a drop deck? Still see the same type on both. Yeah, but the drop deck has a step on it. So you can only put pipes that are so long on the back, or you got to build up to get this bigger stuff up there. So yeah, absolutely right. You can put taller things on a drop deck too. You have those little tiny wheels back there, so taller stuff will fit on it. TJ Jones got back one day early from glamping. It was hot. Grandkids drive us nuts. Glamping is usually done at a motel, so you should have had air conditioning. Minneapolis is hiring bus drivers right now, probably because they're busting in rioters. Cash is king. I wonder what it pays in Minneapolis, a big town like that. Probably pays better. That's the problem of a small town. Deregulation will fix healthcare, just like with the trucking industry. It did fix the industry. I'd love to come on the show with you and this guy trucks and friendly debate it. Yeah, the thing, I'm for the deregulation in trucking because before you had an artificially high rate. For people that don't know, before deregulation, you had to go to the government and prove that a certain route, like say Chicago to St. Louis, needed another truck on it to haul freight. You couldn't just go and haul freight. You say, I'm putting my truck on and hauling freight. And so because of that, the rates were artificially high because the government limited competition. So through competition, the rates got lower, which lowered people's pay, but their pay before deregulation was artificially inflated. And that's the problem of it. It wasn't a real paycheck. It was an artificially inflated paycheck by the government. The same government that people hated was the one that inflated their pay. So I'm for that kind of deregulation. Drop deck can haul a load, correct, right? Driving a big rig, it's not about how good you drive or how well you back up. It's about common sense. Yeah, that's the problem. It's not hard to do, but a lot of it is... keeping track of everything, all the logs and all. And here the rules change September 29th again. I hope everybody's ready for that. Howdy from Orlando. My company just remotely took me off personal conveyance and put me on duty. Congratulations. You're on duty now. What were you doing to get them mad enough to put you on duty? Bridgestone drivers make 85 to 100 till no tires, but the company will fire you for pretty much anything. That seems to be a lot of companies anymore. Bridgestone. Go to Firestone then. Oh, wait. They go, no, wait, it's the same thing. I'm a big kid now. Graduate. That's pretty good, right? Boy, one would think you just most... Look, all I'm saying about this, people can disagree or whatever, but as an adult, you pay your own bills. That's the difference between a kid and an adult. Once you start paying all your own bills, all of them, your cell phone's in your name, nobody co-signs your car, you got your own place to live, right? That's what an adult does. And if you have the money, you don't accept someone else paying for your things. That's what I'm saying. So if you, for some reason, you can't pay for something, you've lost your job and you're like, can you help me with the rent this month or something because I just lost my job, COVID, that's fine. No problem. Right. But to say I need to be on your insurance and I'm making $1,800 a week net. Okay. No. And for a parent to say, yeah, go right ahead. I mean, I don't get it. I just don't get it anymore. I wouldn't do it and I wouldn't allow them to do it. Well, thank you very much, Joe Ritchie. Enjoy a steak dinner on Great Plains Transport. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for that very much. And that will be great on Labor Day here. That'll go with the $3 million that guy sent in for winning the USA lottery. So I appreciate that. Actually, this insurance matter hinges upon your relationship with your parents. Dad, because he was tough and loving, no BS Chicago Catholic. Wow, exactly. Well, look, my parents wanted me to pay for things myself. So, I drove an ice cream bicycle for one summer. I delivered newspapers, for a while, stuff like that. So things that I wanted, I had to go buy. I was not allowed to have a car. Even if I could pay for it, I couldn't have a car as a teenager, and so that's how it worked here at my house. And I think that adults should pay for their own stuff. I'm sorry that young people today are offended by that or whatever, but I think adults should pay for their own things. Hello, Joe Ritchie. Hello to all drivers on Labor Day. Joe at Great Plains Transport in Mapleton, North Dakota, home of the salary and groceries. Enjoy the show. Thank you very much, Joe Ritchie. Right. And that's a good place to go, right? You need a place to call Great Plains Transport. And I agree, right? Not only do they fill your pocket with money, they fill your refrigerator with groceries before you take off. And I think that's pretty interesting. And I've said that before. So Minneapolis bus drivers are at $19 an hour. See, that's not too bad, but it depends how fast you go up. They're usually a union job. L. John's liked unloading tires. They have handles. They're round. And if you drop them, they don't break. That's true. And you could roll them out. They showed me. I wasn't that good at it. I didn't do it that long. You put a tire in the ground, and then as you take them off the stack, you kind of bounce it off that tire, and it goes shooting out the back door at like 600 miles an hour, and the guy's trying to catch it on the back. So, yeah. There should be a limited number of active MC numbers. Well, but that would raise the rates, but the rates would go up artificially, right? And if you limited the numbers, some people wouldn't haul certain routes. Oh, I'm just saying Knight doesn't appear to crash as much. I wonder why that is. Because they both have basically the same hiring standards, right? Knight and Swift. Same hiring standards, so wonder why night doesn't crash as much. James Faust, are you late? That's all right. I started out late today, too. Thanks for being here. Why would some trailer have more than 2 axles? Seen in a trailer, Michigan. The trailer had axles from the fifth of the doors. Yeah, Michigan train. 9 sets of axles. Exactly, because the trailer's heavy as garbage. It's super heavy. So they put more weight on it, so they put more axles on it. Some states, like Michigan, and they can roll those partway into Indiana, do the same, are allowed for that. That's called a Michigan train. I think he's wrong, but it's opinion. He wasn't blessed to have parents give him free insurance. Doesn't mean everyone was. I was on my parents' insurance as a kid, but after that, right, you were expected to get your own insurance. So Chrysler's a classier brand of Dodge. My guess is Knight is classier. Yeah, I'm just saying. I think it's funny. Chrysler, I mean, okay. Receivers closed on Labor Day. Well, so why can't you PC around? Mark has been patient with the prime deadbeat. See, $1,800 is enough money to buy your own health insurance. That's what I'm saying. It's like asking your parents to raise your kids for you. Right. What do we do? Why does that ever happen? More axles means more weight, 20,000 pounds per axle. And some of them have like 13 axles up there in Michigan. So FMCSA to add line 5. It's called on duty screwing off. Won't be able to drive unless you screw off for 2 hours in a 14-hour shift. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't count. You have to have at least a 2-hour period. Going to have Paul over from Celadon for Thanksgiving. He's the turkey. That's true. Hey, that guy, bounced right back. That guy's the Super Bowl of trucking, right? Bingo. He's on boards everywhere. CEO of a new company. That's great. An old abandoned airport is good for a truck driver training camp. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. What if your kid bought a Maserati? I'd like to see the Maserati. I will tell you that. Because I'm a big fan. I'm working today and I'm a truck driver, and like always, I tune in to hear Mark. Leo, it's madness. Well, thank you, and I hope they're paying you. Are they paying you for today? Don't worry, Mark. There's still young people that pay their own way. Good. Those are adults. So, yeah, that's good, Kyle. I mean, there are. I'm not saying that all young people do this, and I think it's partly the parents. Oh, you can stay on our insurance. No, you can't stay on the insurance. You can go get your own insurance. You have to watch bridge weights. I've seen bridges max weight 60 tons. Yes, they're only allowed in certain places. One guy got busted near Indianapolis with one of those Michigan trains. They allow them up in the border here, but not all the way down. He was down in Indianapolis with like 12 axles on the ground or something, busted. Will they haul through Sand and Rock? No, usually there's coils, steel coils and that kind of thing on there. Unloading tires is tough when it's 120 in Phoenix. It's hard work. You're in the trailer. It's hot in there. I agree. You smell like a tire when you come out of there. What a nice Labor Day surprise. DOT is running inspections at mile marker 61, southbound 15 outside of Vegas. Isn't that special, Misty? Well, hopefully they're just stopping everyone in there to tell them thank you for working on Labor Day. So maybe that's what they're doing. Vampirus, I'm with you. My boys pay their own bills plus rent. Good. That's how they learn. They're adults, and I think that's how it should be. If you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to pay your own bills. If you are making $1,800 a week, you can certainly pay your own bills. Crudo with a big tank can weigh 120 grand. Yeah, that's true. Some of them are super heavy. On the Michigan trains, what's the gross vehicle weight? Depends on how many axles it has on it. Dead on day guarantee expires. Oh, that's pretty good. I don't hear too many about Dodge. Haven't had a Dodge. I don't know if I ever had a Dodge. First time I saw a Michigan Centipede, my jaw dropped. I know. I can't imagine the scrub on the tires as they turn corners. I've actually thought about that. I thought, oh, God, if this guy owns this truck, I mean, what's the scrub going to be off those tires he's dragging around the corner? Joe Smith has got plenty of money for your age. Good. Could easily pay your own insurance. Your parents are well off. That's how our mentality is. And I think that's why we do so well. We help each other. Okay. And God helps those that help themselves. So perfect. Mega carriers need to pay drivers for their time. I don't understand how our government allows them to get away with free labor. Other industry pays for all your time except trucking. Yeah, it's been that way since the 30s. Here's the other thing about that I always say. What about the other side of it, Panama Jack? What about this side, which is, hey, why do drivers work for no pay? How about that side of it? That's my side of it that I say, like, nobody would do it at another job, even at McDonald's or a bus driver, right? You would never come in to McDonald's or any other job that's paying you by the hour and they go, oh, your first 2 hours are free, like so many places say about detention, or you're going to work 14 hours and you're probably going to make 10 hours of pay today. Nobody would do it. So why do we do it in trucking? Why do so many drivers accept it in trucking? That's what I'm saying. People shouldn't accept it. I say all people over 21 need to be working and paying for shelter and food. No excuses. Joe Ritchie. I agree. I think anyone who's like not in college, so you're an adult, 18, graduated high school, either, go pay for yourself, get a job, pay your own stuff. Absolutely. That's what most everybody does. Okay, here's a question for Joe Ritchie. What do you think about the FMCSA allowing 18 to 20-year-olds to drive interstate? Will that affect anything over there? This is the definitive answer to the actual question. There it is. When I was a Greyhound driver, we trained at the Brandon Air Force Base. All right, that's a good place to train. Can't hit anything. The truck driving school I went to was an old Air Force base. They have a concrete pad that went on forever. That's good. That's a great place to do it. Keto walk, get fit. No holiday pay. I was taken away due to the pandemic. Dang it. I'm working, but for straight pay, just to be happy to be working. Hopefully, well, you could tell them, look, unemployment's going down. Trucking hiring is up. That was just out this week. Tell them, hey, let's get these holiday pay going back on here. The truck driving school I went to was an old Air Force base. That's pretty good. I think they should give us an extra hour drive time so we wouldn't have to sit so much. Forget about that 3-hour hogwash. Oh, but then you're 12 hours a day. The longer you work, remember, the lower the rates are and the less you make, because more drivers can do the same amount of drivers, I should say, do more work. So you need to put pressure on the industry to need more drivers, and that increases everybody's pay. 65 is 100 kilometers. Yeah. And to Jimmy Carter, I drop container loads of tires at Phoenix. I don't touch anything. That's the way to deliver tires, right? Just drop the whole container of them. What kind of tires are you dropping? Where are they coming? What are these, like Toyo tires or something? Old enough to vote, old enough to go broke. That's great. Let's see. I haven't timed out anybody. Let's see. Volvo seats are uncomfortable. They're hard on my back. Okay. Do you think if Jesus came back on a car dealership we call Chryslers? That'd be great. Yikes. Can I put a pre-2000 engine in a new body, be exempt? Yeah, that's a glider. You can get a glider, put an old engine in it, or I think you could just change any truck, right? Where's my owner operators? Change any truck to an old engine, and it's exempt for now. I think that's going to change in the future. They're just not going to allow it because everybody's going to have to be on ELDs. But yeah, I think you can. Some kind of paperwork, I'm sure, has to happen for that. That actually happens in Washington State. Trucks get pulled into the weigh station. The ladies thank us for our service during this weird time and offers to everybody food. That's pretty good. That'd be great. Well, Bill Anderson is here. I got 2 times plus holiday. That's pretty good. Thank you for having everybody else hear that. Burger couches and hot dogs and Cokes, they're out there working today. I'm thinking about doing a lease with Prime so I could put some cool decal stickers on my rig. I do see a lot of those too. Some of them are all stickered up and all fancied up and all, but I guess it's their truck, so they can put stickers on it. I guess as long as you pay for it, right? There were companies doing that, but the government made a law you can't do it anymore, but I think you can do it. With the truck, with the engines, I think you can, right? If you put an old exempt engine in a truck, bingo, you've made an exempt truck. I don't think it matters as long as you get the paperwork for the engine. I think the truck's exempt for now. Do the Michigan trains get charged by the axle on toll roads? They do. In fact, when it says so much an axle, they have a problem. Yep, they pay more, but then the load should pay more too. I would hire an 18-year-old if they have attended a formal training school and have 12 months of seat time. I drove at 18. With training would allow 18 to 21 to drive. Yeah, I think, I'm in for it too, because here's the thing. Under current law, an 18-year-old with a CDL could legally drive a load from Houston to El Paso for 744 miles. No problem. Nobody thinks anything about it. They could not take a load from Hammond, Indiana to Lansing, Illinois, which is 6 miles. Okay, that would be currently illegal under law. Now, does that make any sense safety-wise? I don't think so. So, I'm in. People, by the time they get to 21, they're less likely to drive. So you could have 21-year-olds with 300,000 miles of experience. So yeah, absolutely. So I thought that's interesting. So, okay, they may be able to get a job somewhere. My job took the sign-on bonus and raises away due to COVID. I'm supposed to stick around just for pay? Yeah, what am I supposed to be here, just to get paid? I never like sign-on bonuses, although I do tell people to take them if they give them. Take the sign-on bonus, if they give it, but that's never a reason to change. But I agree with you on some of that, right? I did my CDL training at Area 51. We'd go out to minor league baseball in Vegas for kicks. Wow. Sam's Club is still having shortages in toilet paper and paper towels. Christina. All right, so Meijer, I just noted this yesterday. The toilet paper roll, full to the brim with toilet paper. If you need it, apparently Meijer here in Lafayette at exit 172 on I-65, stop in there. We do have a Sam's Club over there. I'm not a member, though. Cash is King Trucking. I agree. I want more hours I can work in a day because when I'm out on the road, I want to work. I wouldn't work more hours per week. I could just be more productive with my time on the road. So you'd want an increase in the hours per day, but not in, say, the 70 hours or something to that effect, is what you're saying. Do you think that might lower rates at all, since those would affect you more? George Costanza, winter's coming. I can't wait to see all the people dragging their frozen trailer brakes. This year I'm going to charge $20 to release the trailer brakes. It's so aggravating. Doing dropping hooks all the time, I get that all the time, right? It's, I'm out there in parachute pants in the wintertime. Why? Because it's hammer time. The company I work for wanted me to fill in for the tire account. Asked about the pay. It wasn't enough. Didn't get any repercussions. Paul Harris. Well, if they ask you, you should have a right to say no to it. And I think it should pay more. It's a lot of work. You get tired doing that. Oh, yikes. I think Mark will be a good poker player. I love to be in a game with him. I'm not very good at it, so you'd probably do good. Marty imagines a lot lizard with COVID. That'd be something just to add to the stuff. Joe Ritchie enjoys Cash is King Trucking. It's a great show over there. I have an old motor, and when I got inspected recently, he checked the serial number on the engine, Spud Runner. Okay, so he can tell by the serial number. Do you not have to carry some kind of paperwork for it or something? It seems like there'd be paperwork that you can show the DOT. This is why I don't have an ELD or whatever. I'm exempt. So isn't there a paperwork for that? Paul's going to do books for the White House. That'd be pretty good. Okay, somebody wanted a timeout. Okay, what did I say? Just switched accounts so I could find out what was in the timeout. I don't know. I didn't see that. I did mine at Career Worldwide in Kingsburg, Colorado. I went to professional truck driver training school on the south side of Chicago near the Ford plant at about 130th and the interstate. People that live in the Chicago area probably remember it. This was in the late 80s. It was up there. I don't even think it's there anymore. All you need to do is loosen the brakes up, release those stuck brakes, and tighten them back up once they're broken free. All you need to do is go pound the crap out of them with a big hammer, too. That's generally what I do. If I can't bounce them around something, depends where they are. If they don't drag free, I just get down there, and they are broken free in no time. But with the drop and hook, nothing you can do. People have to, the brakes will sit there, especially Monday's the worst day. They've frozen solid all weekend. People drive and then through all the snow or whatever and drop them, and then they're frozen by Monday. You figure you're going down. I have a torch that I carry also in the wintertime. I haven't really had to use that much, but I can get down there and torch them, a can of propane with the screw on top of it. I'm ready. So tons of times drivers call, I can't get my brakes free. Look, get to work and get that done. Because here, too, we hire people without a lot of experience. So if you're out somewhere, you might pick a trailer up in the middle of nowhere. Pick trailers up Green River, Wyoming. Who's been out there? Isn't that a paper? I forget what I get there. Paper, Arm & Hammer, something out there. You're out there on Sunday. There's nobody there. There's nobody out there. So you're getting a trailer. You got to figure something out or nobody's going to come and help you by Monday. It's important that you can do simple things like that to get yourself going so you don't have to sit for 4 hours waiting for a mechanic to come out. All right, so UPS. I wanted to get to that before we head out. UPS is having lytics installed at 4 of their terminals in their box trucks, the ones that deliver packages to your house. The van trucks, lytics. So the union has come out, and they're all weak on it. I wondered, what is up with that? I thought, this is place. They're never going to get lytics cameras in the trucks. The union said, who was run by Jimmy Hoffa Jr., which I didn't know, said, they're not going to be filming the drivers. They told us that they're not going to use it to harass the drivers or anything. Really? Look, if a union can't keep these out of the truck, it's just a matter of time before they come to a truck near you. I couldn't believe that the drivers are going to allow lytics cameras in their trucks there. It's the perfect place for the drivers to say, look, we're not coming in until the cameras come out. That would have been the perfect answer. But Hoffa's like, oh, I guess it's not going to be a bigger problem as I thought. There's some kind of union splinter group, which I didn't know there's all this drama in the union, who's like all rah-rah about getting the cameras out. But the main Teamster union is like, oh, well, I guess since they're not going to record the drivers, that's what they say now. That's how this always starts. It always goes in the front. And then, oh, well, for your own safety, we're going to record you. Oh, we're also going to, do audio. I mean, come on. In the box trucks that they use, their little UPS step van trucks. Alexander, you have 3 drops in this load in St. Paul. Don't say that. Cash is King Trucking will come and snag those drops right off you and be like, oh, there's extra stops. I'm in for that. I want all these stops. So don't be putting that information out there. Bryce and Clegg, 70-hour rule needs to be changed. Let me drive 10 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's still 70 hours. I guess you couldn't do that now. But yeah, that would still be 70. Does it need to be changed up or does it need to be changed down? I had to go to drop in Tennessee to go to a truck stop overnight, then pick up the same trailer next day, and it rained and had a hard freeze. Truck brakes were frozen, and the trailer was an absolute nightmare. Exactly. That's exactly the problem. Do you have a big hammer? Right? You should have a large sledgehammer, not with a long handle, but something you can get under there with, and just pound the heck out of that thing. Plus a torch. A propane canister with a screw on top on it that you can ignite and go heat them up if you have to so you can get out. Waiting for a mechanic, especially in that kind of weather, can be a nightmare. Get yourself going in a few minutes yourself. And I normally tell people, look, hey, don't do work. Have a mechanic do it, especially if you're a company driver. But this kind of small stuff that can get you rolling is what's going to keep you making money. So going and freeing your own brakes is something that anybody basically can do wherever they are. Whenever this stuff freezes, it's horrible. Good to have a 5-pound mallet hammer to break them free. I saw mullet there. I thought, oh, you should make a video on how to torch the brakes. Oh, that'd be pretty interesting, right? I'd have to do that on the sly. Can if the company see me down there with a fire, some kind of powder coating plant in Tennessee. I think the load was Lamar. Oh, that'd be great. Hate my job just in case I didn't make that clear, Wild Bill. But ironically, you're like the highest paid person here almost. And you don't like your job. In the Dave Johnson, in the Aero days, I'd go to a remote drop yard and pick up a trailer and all the lights have been stripped out. Don't you love that? If you're in another yard though, and this was always in Mexico, so Laredo, I would have this problem, but they would take the lights out of the trailer. Do they still do that? So you go down there to a transfer yard or whatever, and the guy came around with like a basket and he took all the lights out of the bottom of the trailer. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, well, when the guy comes across from Mexico to get this trailer and take it, he brings lights and he'll put lights back in it and go. And then when it comes back, he takes those out and then we put lights back in it. They took the glad hand rubbers out too. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. He goes, well, if we don't do that, they steal them down there. He goes, they get stolen and then we can't get our trailer back. Crazy. I use alcohol, 93% in the squirt bottle, spray, and hammer away. That's pretty good too, right? I'll run it through the lines, but I usually don't get the same trailer, so it doesn't help me that much. Leo's Madness empty from Portland to Bakersfield and back to Portland, no waiting. Wow, how do you get a round trip like that? Is it drop and hook on both ends of that? No waiting? How'd you get that signed up? That's crazy. So the 14-hour clock pause, I hope that you went and commented after I did that video so that the FMCSA, and I'm against it, but I guess you could make whatever comment you want there. The FMCSA wants to hear from everybody, and I hope nobody made comments to the FMCSA in the effect of doing things that are physically impossible with their head, that kind of thing. Those kind of comments don't get read much from the FMCSA. I had yellow at $4.16 this week. Pam's $37.20 down about $2. And Roadrunner is $2.85, and they're down also. They're down this week also. So yellow is on the upswing, but the other two not doing so good. Clayton, wife is yelling at you. I'll catch you guys later. Got some running around at Home Depot. All right, see you later. It's good to have you here, Repo Man. Drivers should be dragging their brakes. They should before you park. Right, pull down on the trolley valve, as we call it, the trailer brake valve, and drag them into wherever you're going to heat them up and dry them off. They should, but people don't do it, so that's a problem. Last time I dropped the trailer in Laredo, they wrote down the serial number on the tires. Really? I never had them take tires, I guess, that I know of. Or at least when I picked it up, it had tires on it. But when you would pick ones up in the yard too, so you drop that off, he took all the lights out of it. You go park it, you go get the one that's coming into the United States. It didn't have any lights. And he would go look at the bin and get the lights and put the lights back in it. It's just the craziest thing. Are these on? Is there some kind of black market for lights in Mexico, like $2 incandescent lights that you plug in the trailer and the rubber things out of the glad hand connections? How much are those things? I couldn't believe it. Do people play poker with these down there? I don't understand. The lights are 10, the turn signal light blinkers are 15s, and the rubbers are $1. I mean, come on. There's fools that work for nothing in every field. That's the problem of the nothing pay. Companies can pay you nothing. They don't have to. Some companies do pay you very good. There's plenty of people out here making great money. But the places that don't pay good, especially if you're doing tons of sitting, that's really hard to make a good living then. Why do you stay there? I mean, if your daughter went to work at McDonald's at 15 years old and she came home the first day and said, yeah, I got there at 10, but they didn't start paying me until noon, you'd be on the phone immediately. You'd be like, what are you talking about? You got to pay her for all of her time. And then, nope, I got to go to work, and you go jump in your truck and sit for 3 days and don't get paid anything. It doesn't make any sense to me. What I'm saying is it starts with us by not accepting not being paid. You go, oh, you don't pay? Sorry, I don't work here. That kind of thing. You lose good tires and get crap ones back from Mexico. They got you. So companies must know that. And so then they write that stuff down. I never had the tires, just the lights. Al Johns, if any of you guys come down to Gulfport and need a quick escort, get my number. No lady or gentleman escorts. Well, hey, whatever pays, right? Some idiots think that the border fence and increased enforcement is a waste. Exactly. Leo's Madness, loved the job. Loved 9 years working at the same one. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, just a big round trip. I love that kind of gigantic round trip. What is the longest round trip I had? Where did I go? Somewhere in Iowa. Went to Scranton, it seems like, and Dallas and back to Iowa in some kind of huge triangle. And so I'm calm. I'm like, this is like 2 weeks or whatever because of the dates on it. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, what, 10 days or whatever. I'm like, oh, fine. I'm right. That kind of stuff works out great. I wish you could do it all the time. At Extra Intermodal, our trailers would come back from Texas with no wood panels. They strip the inside of the trailer? What are they doing with that? That's a lot of work. Those are like put in there. They don't just lay that stuff in there. That's a ton of work to take the inside of a trailer out. What are they repaneling their shed with that thing? That's crazy that people would even do that. I have the average age for truck drivers too, which I thought was interesting. What is the average age of the over-the-road truck driver today? That was just in an article. And I thought, wow, really? Average age of over-the-road drivers. I was even surprised. And they said that's part of the problem coming up in the industry in the future because of the average age of drivers in the industry. It was crazy. I'm also glad to see that there's a company that would hire 18 to 20-year-olds because people float around and then by the time they're 21, they wouldn't have a job. And so, look, if you can go 744 miles now legally, but you can't go 6 miles, I mean, that kind of thing needs to change. There's no reason that somebody that's 18, that's a safe driver, shouldn't be able to get a good job at a good company. So, plus the company will build better, morale with people. I think it's a good idea. They'll be able to get some more trainers. Christina, 55. The Glenheads thing still happen in Laredo. What are they doing with them? Are there poker games going on or dice games or something? I just don't know what they're doing. They're so inexpensive. In Mexico, they got to be 4 cents. I just don't understand it. Sword and Shield, LA to New York, solo 93. Wow. That's a pretty good run too. That's what you want. A long run like that. That's why I like refrigerated. For me, refrigerated was always longer runs. Yeah, you deliver 3 in the morning or whatever, but there's no traffic. And so the next load, it's 1,400 miles. You don't have to worry about it for 3 days. Yeah. What is the average age of an over-the-road truck driver? Well, it said the average age of an over-the-road truck driver is 52 years old. 52 years old. That's still almost 20 years away from me, but that's getting up there. 52 years old is the average age. So they need to get in some younger people. And I'm okay with 18 to 20-year-olds coming in. as long as they get, some training. But when you're 21, you don't get any training. So maybe these people will end up being better drivers than someone that comes in at 21. I didn't have any training, as you could tell, basically. But at 21, right, we graduated Thursday and went to work Monday. So there wasn't any training. It's not a necessity. So these people would have training, and I'm all for it. There's no such thing as a driver shortage as a pay shortage. I totally agree. Pay better, and you'd get people. That's at any job. I always tell people that. Any job, McDonald's, you want people? Put $100 an hour on it. You'll get tons of people. And they're like, well, of course. I go, okay, well then between what you're paying and $100 an hour is the amount of pay you need to pay people to get them to come in and do your work. I'm 33 physically, but 16 mentally. Hey, Steve, you're probably 4 years ahead of me mentally. As I laugh every time someone on TV says duty, and I look at the wife and she's like, don't say it. I started driving when I was 22, and I definitely would have started at 18. Cash is king? I think so. I mean, then it'd be better off too. You could go in and recruit like every other company does at a high school and say, look, and by the time you're 21, you'd have 3 years of driving experience, keep a clean record. Imagine going in at 21 and starting to make, $1,800, $2,000 a week at a great road company, at full pay because you have 3 years experience. How about that? That's really something. Cash me outside with that. How about that? The average age, 52 years old. You're close at 55. Yeah, getting there though, right? I used to run team from Wheeling to Watertown, New York, and LA to LA and back to Wheeling. That's pretty good, except you got a team, but I mean, that's some miles right there. 4 cents is big dough in the third world. In Mexico and LA, human life is cheap and people will steal anything, even just to steal something for its own sake. Well, that's sad. And that's why it's tough to compete with vehicles and every other product that's made outside of here because the pay is so low. So it's tough to compete with that. And it's too bad that people steal things just for their own sake. Stealing something is never right, no matter even if you need it. How about that? How about that for some kind of thing? Do modern solo drivers get coast-to-coast runs? Isn't team only? No, I don't know. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't been on the road for a decade probably. So, but always refrigerated over the road was always my longest runs. It's the runs that I like doing the most because you don't have to check in every day. 258-mile run. What kind of garbage is that? Can't make any money sitting around getting loaded and unloaded every day. So when you can put down 600 miles a day, solid, every day, solid, right, and go across the country for the whole week, bingo. You turn in one trip pack in a box, which is not work then, right? Throw it in the mailbox trip pack thing, boom, 3,000 miles. Bingo. Big check, you're all set. I believe they told us early 50s was the average age when you started driving in 2006. So it hasn't gone up, really, is what you're saying, because some younger people are replacing everybody. I've been from Smyrna, Delaware to Compton and back. That's a great run. Oh my gosh. Even though Delaware, I'd probably be like, all right, I'll take it. I was 22 when I started and would have started younger too. Yeah, I think so, right? Let's just roll it, right? You're not doing anything else. If you're not doing anything else, I mean, come on. If Cash King started at 18, just think how many more videos you would have. Oh my gosh. You'd have 1,400 videos up. There's no driver shortage, there's a freight excess or freight shortage. Well, I used to do a line haul Boston, New York City, 4 nights in 97. It paid $1,000 a run. That was great money then, right? Thought it was great until I'd been at expenses. Barely broke even when it was diesel. Oh, because you were buying the fuel. Demand 48 down from 53. Oh, wow, that'd be something. I don't think they'll ever do that, right? They're looking at 57 and even 60-foot trailers. Was that UPS or Walmart from Smyrna to Compton? Started at 12 on the farm and you can have 12 million miles by 30. And KLLM would be like, well, you're still not our most experienced driver. I would never do a reefer company unless it paid 10 cents more than dry van. Reefers, right? Reefer, I don't mind it. I think it's better doing it. It's somewhat aggravating to fill it up. I was late, so I'm going late. But here, I wanted to tell you also about USA Truck. So company drivers, listen to this. This is an ad, and I checked this out. This is legit. This is what USA Truck is doing now. So they say, look, they have a new self-dispatch at USA Truck. You can be self-dispatched. So you get to look at the loads. You dispatch yourself. And all they ask, it says, is that you average 2,000 miles a week, 3 weeks out of 4. What do you think about that? Self-dispatch, and you average 2,000 miles a week, 3 weeks out of 4. Now, I don't know what it pays, all that other stuff, but what kind of great deal would that be as a company driver? Now, I don't know if they actually give you access to all the loads or they give you 3 loads and you get to choose. Maybe there's a USA truck driver that is here that could tell me about it. But self-dispatching, if you had access to their whole load board and you could say, I'll pick 3 loads or I'll pick my load and then I'll take the next load. Oh my gosh, that'd be better. If they only sent you 2 loads and you had to choose, no way. But I think that's a good deal. JJ Hammer down, 18-year-olds are still teenagers and can be reckless. They can, but I mean, I'm tailgated by Grandpa Jones all the time. Get out of the way. What are you doing up there, trucking the inches? You going so slow? I don't know what they say to me, but I'm just saying. So I'm usually not tailgated by some young driver. It's somebody with a big, long nose and LED replacement headlights that are improperly aimed, and that kind of thing. I'm not tailgated by kids usually. I had to wait till I was 19 to get your first CDL. Oh, okay. You started a couple years before me. Could have started my job in your 20s, but when Roadmaster recruiter said I would be hired after schooling the ride with a trainer, turned me away the first time. Really? Missing seal on trail when you hook up to the glad hands. The cartel has marked that trailer for special cargo. Oh, that might be through the cartel. Yeah, be sure to do the mirror underneath the thing and check everything. Yeah. I never thought about it that way, right? Oh, so that was a UPS run going across the country. That should have been a light run, too. So usually those don't run super heavy. And you don't have to do anything with them, right? That should have been a drop in the Compton yard, which you'd want to drop that and get the heck out of there. Because you don't want to Rodney King that. That was that guy's name down there, I think. I just thought it was pretty interesting that USA Truck has self-dispatch. Self-dispatch. 2,000 miles, 3 weeks out of 4. So if you self-dispatch, you get to pick which paper mill you pick up at. Here's your 3 choices. You could pick up at Hammer Paper Mill, or right, all these different paper mills. I don't know exactly that end of it, but I saw that and I go, if you had access to their entire load board where you could pick any run, I mean, how would they do that too? There must be a way for them to limit your deadhead. Otherwise, you're like, well, I delivered here in Chicago, but that run out of Oklahoma City looks great because as a company driver, you get paid for all miles. So I would deadhead myself all around the country. I'd hardly ever pick loads up. I'd be basically going empty. So there must be some other kind of catch to it. I didn't know if there'd be a driver here that's on it or not. I'm one of the few company drivers at my place that went coast to coast solo runs, and usually it's dry van. That's even more unusual. Refrigerated always went long distance. Why not drive at 13? Bar mitzvah today, you're a man. They meant it. That's true. You accept all the rules. You're a man, get driving. Reginald Denny, that's right. Reginald Denny was his name. That was so long ago. That was out there in California, right? Compton isn't that bad where it's mostly industrial, which is most of it. It is, right? I always went to City of Industry out there in California. That's about as far in as we usually went. And then you'd get some kind of load out of City of Industry and head back out, which wasn't too bad. And always try to get out of town before you get parked somewhere. You didn't want to park in town. Too much traffic. Always a nightmare. Depending which way you're going, you get over to Yuma or wherever you're going. But somewhere, at least get out of town. I thought it'd be great to just self-dispatch yourself. You have to be self-motivated and stuff. And there would have to be limits on deadheading. Otherwise, you're like, well, I'm just going to deadhead across the country because I don't want to pick a load up. You can't not even take a single holiday off or you forget how to work YouTube Live. I know. So, well, they changed all the background and how YouTube worked. That's how it went, and nothing happened. I'm clicking like nothing happened. The old way is called Classic now, which I can't access anymore. We've got a new way for you to do this. I'm like, well, thanks a lot. So that didn't work out great for me. Self-dispatch, I'll wager the rate is $1.45 or less per mile. Well, Joe Ritchie, the thing is self-dispatch was for company drivers. It was for company drivers that you could self-dispatch. So as a company driver, right, I wouldn't care what the rate is on it necessarily, right, because I'm getting a rate per mile. They must limit, though. So I think I see what you're saying. Maybe that they're limiting the rate because the higher rates are going to go to people that they're going to dispatch so they know the load gets done or something. There's going to have to be a limit on deadhead miles. Otherwise, you're just going to deadhead wherever you want. Maybe there's a circle, like so many miles of where you are, you only get to choose those loads, something like that. I'm getting holiday pay plus normal working pay today. That's how it should be. If you work, you should still get the holiday. Some places only pay it if you work. No, you should pay it work or not. You should get a day's pay for the holiday. Getting serious now. I'm packing to go back out. Should I not take my ankle socks and only take regular socks and wool socks? I would take all your socks. Today you're going to run into 80 degrees, and then as you go, it's going to be winter. You're going to need those socks put that D battery in them that heat up, that keep you warm. A cooler run would be Minneapolis to Indianapolis to Annapolis. That's too many Olis's. Transported into a bulkhead usually never ends well. No wonder McCoy wants us then. Transport. Yeah, okay, right. Transport. I don't understand that. Why show up there and I can't move? I'm stuck in it. I couldn't get out of it. Forward, back, nothing. There was no way to get out. I had to warp out. So people that are on Star Trek Online, I transported into a structure and couldn't get out of it. So another first world problems thing. I don't understand it personally, how you do that, but I guess that's another story. Well, I don't want to hold everybody on Labor Day, so I apologize for starting late today, but I'm going to let everybody go on it. And I appreciate everybody sticking with it and coming in. There's a Metropolis, Illinois. Yes, in the southern end, right? Let's see, where'd this go here? Oh, if I can click this. Let's see. Is it going to go? It is. How about that? Look, if you wear it always, make it a parrot. Don't forget about Fleet Nav Systems. They're on live tomorrow at 3 p.m. I hope you caught Trooper Hoover last week. GP Transco will be in tomorrow. They're off on Labor Day, and they pay their people holiday pay, I think. So verify that with them. I don't know their trucking color, what color truck you'll get. Be sure to see Jay live on Tuesdays. What? Jay? Yes, go see Jay, Gracie. What are you talking about? But let's see there. It's lightning and thunder here, so winter, it's still 102. They said, they just said that it's going to drop like 60 degrees in the Denver area and up in the mountains over the next day or two. So in like 2 days, it's going to drop 60 degrees and may snow and up to 8 inches in the higher elevation. So be careful out there, for crying out loud. That's crazy. And of course, to run 70 west of Denver, you need chains. It's required now. Trucker Hershey was first the other day and today, but I was a little behind due to technical difficulties, which are my fault, and I apologize. I should figure all this stuff out in advance. Christina was here, and I appreciate you coming in. Wild Bill made it in. So Al Johns, hello there. Cash is King Trucking will be live again today several times. Hey, I'm Steve. I was here with a young mentality like me. Roger Penske, thanks for being in today. Philip Trucker was here. Sword and Shield. I had a lot of new names that I hadn't seen today. Kyle was here. Thanks for being here today. Let's see, where am I going here? Oh, Leo's Madness. Thank you for coming in. Tommy Cash, I love it. Mark Fu, like Kirk Fu. Thank you very much for coming in. Repo Man, who came in right after I mentioned the bankruptcy, which is something. Clayton, it's good to see you today. Let's see. George Costanza was here. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Dave Johnson, hello there. Let's see. Oh, the Flip-Flop Fool. I love it. Right. Trucker Hershey, thank you for being here today. Alexandra, thank you for coming in. Watch out before Cassius King steals those stops. Believe me. Marty was here. Thanks for coming in. Michael Muller, I'm almost with you on the insurance. Believe me. Joe Ritchie, thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. And for running a good company over there. So how about that? Thanks you for that. So let's see here. And thank you for being here. Let's see, where did I go off to? Oh, Paul Harris. And let's see, so I'm going to head out of here. But think about that stuff. Let's see, Michael Bauer is here. Aviator Trucker. James Faust, thank you for being here. So I'm headed out. And I promise that I will try to be on time next week. And there's more to come. As always, be safe out there, of course, especially in the winter weather, for crying out loud. It's almost winter out there. Yikes. And we'll see you on the next live show. Thanks for coming in.